Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in for this edition of Knights Broadcasting. We welcome you back to Knight Stadium for this evening's contest of NCAA Men's Lacrosse, a non-conference matchup featuring the visiting Southwestern University Pirates and, of course, your Southern Virginia University Knights. My name is Quinn Meyer, and alongside me is our lacrosse expert and analyst, Jordan Sorensen. Jordan, both these teams had pretty similar seasons in regards to the records last year and their performance in conference tournaments. So it should be a pretty competitive matchup. What are your keys to this game today?
Yeah, so this is going to be really interesting because I think a lot of this game is going to be decided in the face-off circle there in the middle of the field. Southwestern is 0-2 so far this season, but every game has been away. I think the first 4 games of the season are all away. That's a tough way to begin for any program. And on top of that, they've had 21 goals, 13 assists, where they want to see some improvement coming into this game. Their shooting percentage is down about 30%. They want to get that closer, about 45, a little higher. Save percentage. Their goalkeeper had a difficult first game and rebounded fantastically in their last game against Rhodes, about 50%. And so he's looking to improve on that for the day. But really the story of this team has been face-offs. They have largely dominated both teams that they've played at the face-off circle. Anthony Caudillo has 68% on the season, and the freshman Troy Pena has got some play time as well, and he's at 57%. Between the two of them, I expect to see that's a big emphasis for them. For the flip side, for Southern Virginia University, they're starting the season 0-4. That doesn't give the truth to where the season really is. Coach Lamb loves to schedule a very difficult non-conference slate, specifically so that when we reach conference, we're ready to go and we're playing at optimum level. They played Hampton-Sydney. I think they were 16th in the country at the time. They played, I believe it was St. Mary's, which is a notoriously difficult program. They had a very, very tough time up to this point to prepare them for the future. In there, big things to note, they have 80% clears, which I know Coach Lamb has to be happy about, wants to see that continue to improve, get close to that 85%. Now, again, that big matchup today is going to be face-offs. SVU sitting about 40% on the season. We want to see that at least 50-50 on the day. So I think that breaks down a lot of what we're going to see. Now I'm excited for us to get it. Now, real quick, before we get to the game, before we start, I do want to mention our women's volleyball team, or basketball team, here at Southern Virginia University is just tipped off with the first round of the NCAA tournament against DeSales University. We'll give random updates throughout the day, but we just want to shout out to them. And here we go.
There's the opening face-off, and as you mentioned, Jordan, Knights trying to counter the face-offs of Southwestern with Jaden Arnold, who's typically been in the circle, as Knights are on the attack right towards the goal and just past the post, I believe, to the left of it.
That's difficult for any face-off man to not only come up with that, take that shot immediately. The sticks get warped, they get twisted in that circle. So real strong. He's already had 3 good shots on the season. That's now 4. He's just got to bury one of these times.
So Knights in the attacking zone now. Southwestern, notably in competing as an independent this year, they finished runner-up, lost in the tournament final in the Heartland Collegiate Lacrosse Conference last year, and just waiting their turn to enter the Southern Athletic Conference next year, I believe. Knights obviously coming off 2 pretty successful years in the USA South. In 2022, obviously taking home the crown. Then last year, finishing runner-up to Pfeiffer. There's a shot towards the goal and a good save by Walsh. As Knights applying pressure in that attacking zone, and Southwestern will escape harm.
You're going to see the Knights do a lot of that in their offensive rotations. One man with a hard drive to the side, trying to kick out that feed when the double comes. So let's get used to that for the Knights.
And there's a goal right off the bat for, I believe that's number 42 of Southwestern, Zach Fabian. That's the freshman from San Antonio, Texas, as he cradled right through the middle of the field and puts it into the goal for the first one of the game.
Yeah, it looked like the Knights were a little unorganized in their ride, so trying to defend against what we call the clear again. A lot of lacrosse lingo we'll try to break down a little bit today. But the goalie had stepped out to try to guard somebody and just left the cage exposed. Difficult position to be in.
Here's the draw again, going to Southern Virginia on the attack now. So that's a couple of face-offs won for Southern Virginia in the early going.
Dream start for the Knights.
So both teams still searching for their first victories on the season, but as Jordan mentioned, Southern Virginia, Coach Lamb likes to take a difficult start to the season in preparation for conference play, schedule some difficult non-conference matchups as the Knights will regroup here.
See how they're starting out really, really wide. This is them setting up the formation that they want. As they start breaking in, you're going to see all the players, as they're doing now, they're starting to collapse a little bit more to that middle, and we're going to see their offense really start clicking here in the next 10, 15 seconds.
That was Davis Grant sending it back towards the logo. Now on the attack are the Knights. They're going to send it back behind. There's Zach Sullivan camped out in front, and there's a shot towards the goal. I'm not sure if deflected off the goalie or not.
They reset the shot clock, so we're back at a fresh 60, so it must have hit the goalie.
Knights in behind the goal, just outside of the crease of the goal mouth.
Looks like that's Gabe King sitting in that back position from X. He's got the ball now. You're going to see a lot of him from the Knights today.
Gabe King leading the Knights with 13 goals already on the year. Been a high producer towards the goal, and it's just wide. And I believe that will deflect off of a defender or the goalie. Knights retain possession.
So they get possession, but it's still a 30-second shot clock. Remember, sport of lacrosse, whoever's closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds on a shot maintains possession. Kind of those quirky rules of the sport.
This Porter Wells going right to the front of the goal, and it bounces off the knee of Walsh, and Southwestern will grab possession once again.
The Knights are playing a real aggressive ride here by pressuring the goalkeeper immediately, and I like to see that, and I think that's going to pay dividends as the game goes. Yard sale right there.
Stick falls out of the hands of the Southwestern athlete. They're still in possession. That was Porter Wells on the last attack from the Knights, who you mentioned, Jordan, needs to get things going here in the early part of the season.
Yeah, he's been taking a lot of shots on the team currently right now, and he just hasn't been able to convert those to shots on goal. As soon as he does, we're going to see a big production from him.
O'Donnell goes right down the middle and sends it into the goal. A 2-0 lead for Southwestern early on.
Yeah, again, Knights got caught a little bit in their transition trying to figure out where they were, and the defensive slide or the second man coming to help stop the attacking player was just a little slow in their rotation, and it opened up that lefty shot on that side. Now, down what we call the alleys on this field, it's going to be the hash marks going up and down the kind of center of the field. Those are some of the most dangerous places to shoot for lacrosse players. Looks like we have a foul on the face-off, and it will go to the Knights to win another one.
And you could see Jaden Arnold was yelling for that one, and the Knights do get possession off of that. So Jaden yet to lose a face-off so far this evening as the Knights with it. That was Zach Sullivan sending it back down for Tyson Mowry in behind the goal.
You're going to see the Knights, they're subbing men on and off the field, and that's why they're staying wide. Again, they're setting up their offensive possession and getting the personnel they want on the field, and now they're going to go right to it.
And that's Peyton Merwin. He's missed some time due to injury, a pulled hamstring early in the season. He's going to sail that one over top of, I believe that was Tyson Mowry, but the Knights will retain possession. Peyton had appeared for the first time in their loss to center in their last matchup.
Yeah, coming off a hamstring injury is always tough. Really just affects your abilities on the field. So seeing him looking healthy is excellent news for the Knights.
Good screen there from Sullivan. Now Peyton Merwin towards the goal. He scores!
That is exactly where he wants to be, especially with that lefty. You don't traditionally see too many lefty shots from that side of the field. You'll tend to see him on the other side. So seeing him bury that is the confidence booster you would want from any attackman on that side. Excellent possession there for the Knights.
So Peyton Merwin receiving that one on his natural side and putting it towards the goal quickly for his first on the season. A big confidence boost for him coming off of that hamstring injury. And the Knights are now within one. Jaden Arlen back to the middle of the field for Southern Virginia. He's going to lose this one. And Southwestern takes control. Now is Matt Caldwell with it right now. He's being checked by a Knight defender, and a flag is thrown on that one.
Looked like a push with possession. So, yeah, this will definitely be some time in the box. Now, when that flag is down, it's pretty much a free play for the team with the ball until that ball hits the ground. So they're going to take their time and try to find the shot they want.
So delayed penalty here. That was, I think it was Lysenby of Southern Virginia who will eventually be sent to the box. Unless Southwestern, they can get on the board here and extend their lead back to 2. Now cradling behind the goal, going back out front. And that might have deflected off the goalie.
Yeah, it looked like a good save. I should correct, they did change the rule, I believe it was 2 years ago, where now the ball can hit the ground. It's until the other team gets control of it, then they'll call dead on the flag.
And that's Jace Lightfoot in goal for the Knights. He's a freshman from Jacksonville, Florida. Really been thrown into the spotlight this season with the.
No, absolutely, and we'll break down him a little bit more later. But he has played phenomenal for a freshman stepping into this non-conference slate. Very impressed with his poise in the cage so far this season.
Right back out in front, they score. A nice little fake up and under for Southwestern, and it is 3-1 now in favor of the Pirates.
Yeah, in that, again, you're man down. So defensively, you're trying to find, you're trying to close the angles on the inside and push the ball as far out for as long as you can. In that case, the Knights didn't quite stay with the guy with the ball. He was able to curl underneath the pressure and find a wide open cage, right there in front of the goaltender. So man up's always tough.
I believe that was number 8, the junior midfield, Alex Hudgens, getting on the board for Southwestern, and that's turned over. It looks like it might be by Southern Virginia. In pursuit was Arnold pushing him down, and there can be a flag out of that one.
Yep, that's going to be another push with possession, is what it looked like to me. And you'll see that pass kind of went into the ground. It's one of the more difficult things. They call them FOGOs, face off, get off. Basically, you come in, you take that face off, you have a specific stick just for that because, again, they get warped. You're putting a lot of pressure on it, fighting for that ball, and sometimes it can be really difficult to get good, clean passes off. That's something that plagues every Fogo that's ever played the sport of lacrosse. So he's definitely familiar with that, and he'll try to adjust for that pass going forward.
So it's Jaden Arnold having to sit out some time here for that push to the back during possession for Southwestern. So Southern Virginia again, a man down 2 goals here in the first quarter. That's Hudgens again going out back in front of the goal, and he loses control of it. Southwestern still, though, in possession, able to gather that one, and back up top they go for O'Donnell. Towards the goal, and it might have deflected off of maybe a crossbar or someone out in front.
Knight's got to be careful. All 3 man-down shots have come from X, or the bottom of the cage behind it, sweeping up along the crease to the front of the goal. They're going to have to crack down on that because that is not the shot that you want to give up right there in front. Great job by the goaltender, Jace Lightfoot, in defending the cage on those last few possessions and keeping the Knights in it here early.
So a timeout, I believe, was called by head coach Jason Lamb of Southern Virginia. Obviously, Southern Virginia spending some time with a man down here pretty early in the first quarter of play. Southwestern leading it 3-1. And Jordan, lots of turnover, which we typically see in these Southern Virginia programs, but especially this year, lots of turnover in this Knights men's lacrosse program, having to rely on lots of freshmen. As mentioned, Jace Lightfoot thrown into goal due to the graduation of lots of key seniors the past couple of years. So what do you think, obviously it's a learning experience in these first few games, and, you're really preparing for the main part of your season, which is, conference play in the USA South. How important are these non-conference games for players like Jace Lightfoot that are brand new to the team this year?
Again, there's a reason Coach Lamb approaches the non-conference in this way, because he does not want it to be easy for them, because he needs production from his freshmen sooner rather than later. And a case where Jace, where he's the starting goaltender, he's got to see those shots because we want him to save all of them come that conference level. So it is not an easy thing to do. A little bit of being thrown into the fire. The speed of the game is just higher. The shot velocity is higher at this level. And so he's seen a lot more of that. Again, he is standing tall. He's not the only freshman that's being kind of thrown into those positions, but we really are going to be relying on the seniors that are here to lead and guide and help those freshmen adjust so we're ready to go come conference time.
Caleb Brody was that steady figure in goal for so many years for Southern Virginia. Obviously lost him due to graduation. So Coach Jason Lamb will need a lot of newcomers to step up and be productive in new roles for this night's squad. Still on the man advantage for Southwestern.
It looks like we're all even now. So yeah, it looks like the penalty was released. Great defensive play there. Can't quite catch the number there on the backside.
4 Pirates in the vicinity there, but a good defensive play by Southern Virginia.
It looked like it might have been 21, JT Kucherer.
JT Kucherer on that play. Good, reliable defender, returner from last year's team and the year before, I believe, on their conference championship squad. There's a feed looking down low towards the goal line, but that's going to go out of bounds, and Southern Virginia will grab possession.
That is fantastic pressure by the defensive player right in the middle of the field to affect that pass. Really solid defense overall. Now again, this is where the Knights, they're averaging 80% in the season in their clears. They want to get to that 85 round. Oh.
There's a good check trying to grab possession back for Southwestern. It looks like they'll get to it. And now Lightfoot taking close attention to the play behind the net, now back in front.
And you can see Southwestern, the Pirates, they are now bringing their offensive personnel in. They're spreading out. They're slowing this down. They've got 60 seconds to work with on the shot clock, so they're in no rush. And they're just trying to get their right people in and try to catch the Knights rotating.
There's a wicked shot from the near side. That's going to bounce out. Southwestern still in control. I believe that was number 34, Emery Osgood, the junior midfield, on the shot.
We're going to see what kind of offensive set. They've been pushing from X or behind the cage a lot today, and the defense comes in strong.
There's a good defensive play again as they're going to spread the field towards Wyatt Garrett, sophomore from Lake Mary, Florida, on the attack now for Southern Virginia. He'll reset things at the top.
That is the second possession in a row where 21 JT Kucherer came up big.
And here he is again, feeding it for Zach Sullivan. In there for a goal. Zach Sullivan strikes.
Again, great rotation by the Knights. The faster you can move that ball around, frees up the space into the field and allows for good angles like that one.
And as Jordan mentioned, that was JT Kucherer, I believe, making those good defensive plays, turning that into offense. A sweet feed to Zach Sullivan on the near side, and he puts that in past Walsh, make it 3-2. So a lot of offensive time for Southwestern, but quickly Southern Virginia back within one.
And that's his first assist of the season, so they're going to need to see a lot more of that coming up. I think up to this point, they've only had 16 assists on 32 goals. They'd like to see more.
Southern Virginia grabs this one. I believe that's Michael Brown heading towards the Pirates' end, still with it now, able to elude a couple of defenders towards the goal, bounces it off the turf and up above the goal as there was contact after the shot.
He took a big shot there. I say he knew he was going to take that shot and went for the goal. A lot of poise there from him. He's been playing well again so far this season. Really impressed with the Knights on the face-off. They've been doing very well.
Mike Brown, another one of our many dual sports athletes, member of the football team in the fall. Southern Virginia still with it, have 45 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Going towards the crease now behind the goal. He'll swing around and take a shot, and it's going to go just in front of Walsh, out of bounds. And Knights, I believe, will retain possession on that one.
Yeah, again, it wasn't a bad look. He's going to want to keep that head up. He had a man open right on the crease that he's going to want to try to find for that pass in the future. It was a pretty low angle shot, but again, testing the waters early is something you just have to do as a shooter, so I don't blame him for taking it.
And that was Gabe King on that shot, their leading goal scorer, 13 goals in 4 games so far. Knights back on the attack. That was King, I believe. He strikes and scores.
Again, we are going to see a lot of that from Gabe King throughout the course of this season. He is a pure scorer. He's a big frame. He knows how to move himself on the field, to use his body to create separation. Again, that was typical goal. We're going to see that exact goal from him many times throughout the season.
So the junior from Heber City, Utah, out of Osage High School, gets himself on the board for his 14th on the season. We are knotted up at 3 with 5:30 left in the first quarter.
The Knights with another face-off win.
So Jaden Arnold doing the job so far, or I believe that was Jaden Arnold on the draw. As Knights back in the offensive zone. This is Zach Sullivan now cradling. He'll send it off for Porter Wells. He's had a good couple of chances early on offensively. Now some speed in front of the goal, and it's going to deflect off. I believe it was Walsh getting a piece of that. So Knights still with it. This is Wells
I love
again.
the movement. We want to see, again, that was great offensive movement and a really good take. That's going to convert to goals sooner rather than later.
There's another take. He gets checked, though. Good defense from Southwestern. 4 Pirates smothering. I believe that was Clay Hackey. Jordan mentioned we'd see a lot of them today. Another good offensive producer for Southern Virginia that's going to spit back out for Gabe King.
Knights down to about 25 seconds on the shot clock. So you're going to see them press here really quickly.
This is Gabe King on the attack, surveying the field. He's going to let one loose, and it's going to go just past Walsh again. Knights will still have it, but just 16 seconds left on the clock.
That shot clock only resets if it hits the goalie or the goal itself.
Nice pass to the middle, and it's going to go just over the crossbar. It looked like he had some room there as the defender. He got a step on the D.
Yeah, he's going to want that one back. That was about as good as an opportunity in the middle as you're going to get.
Nice move, Porter Wells. That's going to go past Walsh. And again, it didn't hit anything, so no reset. 4 seconds on the clock. They're going to send this one to the front and send it out, actually, and just a safe play there from the Knights.
Yeah, they just want to push it into that corner so it takes a longer time for Southwestern or the opposing team to set up and allows them to get their clear or their ride team in to try to prevent the clear here from the Pirates.
So Coach Jason Lamb's going to get JT Katrier in there. Again, was part of that second goal of the Knights to get within 1. Now they're tied at 3. A big check, sending a Pirate outside the stadium, back towards the middle, and they score.
That was William Howell who really created number 3 for the Pirates, using his speed to create a lot of space. And the Knights put a lot of pressure, eventually, like you said, getting him out of bounds. But he was able to use his athleticism to really stretch and make that pass and caught the backside of the Knights defense, just not quite in position where they wanted to be for that easy look right in the front.
So Howell Jr. really sacrificing the body on that one. He got sent past the Knights bench and outside the Finch, but making a good play for his team, and they lead at 4-3.
Yeah, those are the bruises that you don't even think twice about. It is sacrifice for the goal. Any athlete's going to take that any day. Here we have look like consecutive face-off violations, and so it's actually going to be a foul on the Pirates, and they will be man down for, I believe it's a 1 minute unreleasable, and so Knights will have a full minute of being man up.
So not physically taking control of that one, but again, Jaden Arnold doing the job so far for the Knights in the face-offs. Again, he came into this matchup a little bit under 50% on face-offs. He's been the main face-off guy for Southern Virginia for a number of years now. But as Jordan mentioned, Southwestern will be a man down as Knights go back on the attack.
And this is one of the areas Coach Lamb really wants to see improvement from this team. They have 2 man-up goals on the season. We want that number to be higher. You want to be sitting about 45% on man-up on the season, and they're closer to about the 20% range right now.
This is King feeding Wells back towards the middle for Hackett. It's going to bounce loose. Walsh gets to it first. He's checked by a couple of Knights. Walsh is way out of the goal, and Southern Virginia trying to grab it. I think that's King grabbing it and putting it into the empty net.
Who else than Gabe King? Again, there's a reason that players like Gabe are so successful. They have a knack for being in the right spot at the right time. I believe it was him. It might have been another player. I didn't quite see who laid the hit on the goaltender, dislodged the ball, able to find it off the bounce, and just hold that cradle long enough to just push it towards the goal. Did it have to be a great shot? Did it have to be a hard shot? Just had to be going towards the goal, which it was. Again, Gabe King on the board again.
So Walsh, a little risky, thought he had a lane, but it gets checked, and then Gabe King puts it up and has a nose for the net. Puts that one in the empty cage, and another penalty off the face-off.
Now this one, I'm curious as what the flag is for. Oh, it might be that I don't remember him getting having any issues with the face-off earlier, because again, it's once you have multiple infractions, then you get a flag. I can't quite tell from the hand movements. Yeah, it was.
And that was number 31, Trey Pena, again, the second consecutive time he's been sent to the sidelines. His Knights back on the attack, trying to gain their first lead of the game. 3:32 left in the first.
I misunderstood. I thought they gave the foul on the Knights. That's why I was so confused. But no, it makes sense. They gave it back over here to the Pirates. So again, man up.
This is Gabe King. 2 goals already here in the first. Back for King. He's going to slice it towards the goal, and it's going to go wide. It didn't hit anything, I believe.
No, but real risky. The Knights were really high on their line right along the goal. The goaltender almost beat them to the ball out of bounds and maintained possession. They want to be careful of that.
This is Porter Wells with it. Back for and towards the middle. Nice shot there. That's Zach Sullivan right in the middle, sending one home for the Knights for their first lead of the evening.
Now, Zach is from Chaparral, San Diego, California, my stomping grounds. I'm from San Diego as well. I know Chaparral, the high school, that area well. And it's nice to see a San Diego guy get that kind of success out here. It makes me happy. Actually, you see the big advantage, obviously, of being man up. Once things get chaotic, that's really where you want things. Offensively, once you get the defense moving and out of their rhythm, that's when you find that wide open guy in the center just like that.
So a couple of goals on the man advantage going both ways. So early on, it was Southwestern. Now it was Southern Virginia, and that's Jaden Arnold going off, I believe.
Yeah, there's an infraction there. But because it's not consecutive infractions, it's not a flag, so that we're still even as far as numbers go.
Going straight towards the goal, unmarked. And it does go in past Lightfoot. Another goal for Southwestern to knot it up at 5.
Yeah, just a defensive miscommunication. They thought they were going to pass off the runner with the ball. Ended up no one took him, and he had a clear running lane into goal. That's about every goalie's worst nightmare. Free runner, full head of steam, and a lot of the cage to shoot for. Tough position for Lightfoot to be in.
That was Alex Hudgens again, his second of the evening. As back to the faceoff we go. Nice win from Jaden Arnold. He's going to lose it, though, almost. Knights are able to pick it back up. This is Wyatt Garrett in control, but it'll be whistled down.
I believe they're going to say he came over the restraining line, so the rest of the team has to be behind the 30 before or until there's possession. I think they're going to say he came over that line early to get possession of that, which obviously is a foul.
This is Howell Jr. again, leaving it off for, that's number 24, Matt Caldwell. Just 2:26 remaining in the first. Knotted up at 5. A very competitive battle so far between Southwestern and Southern Virginia. Both teams, again, searching for their first wins on the season.
Yeah, and this is on pace for, well, let's see how he takes this. This is on pace for Southwestern's game against Birmingham Southern, where they scored about 5 goals a quarter. So this is on pace. So right now we're looking at a 16, 17, 18 goal kind of finish in this one. Should be exciting.
That was Prim not able to handle the pass. Now Mike Brown on the attack for Southern Virginia. He's going to spin away from a defender with that long stick. Throws it towards the goal just wide. The near post.
Really, the story of this, the 2 stories from this first quarter is the dominance overall of the Knights on the draw circle. I'm very surprised by that. Very happy by that, of course, but surprised because that's where the Pirates have seen a lot of success. But then the other side of that, they have a lot of shots off target. We want to see more, we at least force the goalie to make some saves. We're just missing wide by a few inches on too many shots right now.
And to Jordan's point, Knights are 8 out of 10 in the faceoff so far early on. So 80% on the draws. Jaden Arnold doing the job for Southern Virginia. And on the extra man, both teams 1 for 2 so far. So both had a couple of chances.
I will say for Southwestern, what they have done really well is capitalize on their opportunities. They've had a lot of the transition goals where they've moved the ball to that open man inside. Great opportunities on their man up. They just seem to be very comfortable with how their offense is rotating. And I think their coach offensively is very satisfied with the game plan and the execution of it up to this point.
So Southwestern had the early jump, leading 3-1 pretty early on, but Southern Virginia able to battle back. And other than the face-off, statistics are pretty even so far in the first, just 153 remaining. Southern Virginia 5 turnovers to the Pirates 4, but Southern Virginia has caused 3 turnovers. But also the Knights loading up on the shots, but as Jordan mentioned, just need to get a few more on goal, make the goalie work a little bit more, and they can put themselves in front heading into the second.
And they got to be really happy with the caused turnovers. That's actually one of the stats that's a little lower for considering the 4 games they played at this point. I believe it's 12 caused turnovers on all 4 games. Already having 3 in this game is a major step in the right direction for the defense.
So out of the timeouts, both teams will head back towards the field. It's Southern Virginia in possession right now, as Mike Brown took that most previous shot just left of the post of Walsh. And I believe that's River Jackson taking control, is going to send it back for Clay Hackey. Clay Hackey, another returner from last year's squad. This is Porter Wells. And now behind the goal, Zach Sullivan with 2 on the day. He's in possession. Looking towards the middle. Not too much movement going on there. Now Clay Hackey again. He's going to spin off the defender. Zach Sullivan cannot handle that one. And here's Gabe King trying to march through the defender, looking for some space to release it. It goes high over top the crossbar. Knights will retain possession, but again, only 29 seconds left on the clock.
Knights really trying to feed the middle of the crease and just get those short passes inside and finding some success, but it's not consistent. They want to bring that up.
Here comes Hackey, strikes it in past Walsh. Another goal for Hackey, 6-5 Southern Virginia.
And that is very in line with how the season has been. Where their goals are coming from consistently is when one player can beat his man one-on-one and find space to release that ball before the slide or the help defense comes to them. And again, fantastic. I'm sure Coach Lamb wants to start seeing a bit more of the ball movement pick up for, again, that long-term consistency, because you get tired all those sprints over time.
So first goal in the night for Clay Hackey is up to a goal and an assist so far. This is, I believe, JT Katrier with it.
Another face-off win.
He's going to leave it off for Zach Sullivan. Again, another face-off win for the Knights. They're dominating in that category so far. Zach Sullivan again. He's going to look things over. He's pressured by a Pirate defender. Now he'll send it back for Porter Wells. Around the ring now for Clay Hackey. Looking for another right towards the middle, and it's a good check there from Southwestern. I think that was the defender, number 27, McNulty. Southwestern, though, having trouble getting out of their own end.
Yep, it's a very good ride by the Knights so far.
And they're going to cause a turnover, almost a check into the ground by Gabe King. Still up for grabs. Now Walsh able to grab control and has some room. He's going to launch that to the other side of the field about 60 yards. And that'll do it for the first quarter of play. So a good end there for Southern Virginia, able to go on a 5-2 run to end things off of lots of face-offs wins and just letting it fly whenever they get into the zone.
So we've had a lot of rain today, and the field is slick. You're seeing some of that slipping going on there. I always say I love playing in the rain. I like games in the rain. A big reason for that is it kind of equalizes where talent might be, and you start seeing who's just willing themselves to get to that ball, to get that goal, to fight for this, because not everything goes the way that you hope. You know, you slip easier. Especially a sport like lacrosse, where you've got that mesh or the net that is on the top of your stick, and the rain messes that up. It stretches more than you're used to, or it can, in some cases, tighten up. It just affects the way you typically throw, you typically shoot, which I'm sure is part of the reason why Knights shots have been a little wide here and there, is a lot of their sticks are wet, and they're having to adjust. So those are things that part of the game you have to get used to, but adjustments the Knights are going to need to start making so they can convert these attempts into goals.
And before the second quarter of play starts, we want to give a shout out to all of our University Athletics sponsors. We appreciate them so much for their continued support, those sponsors being Cornerstone Bank, Straws, Drinks and Eats, River Crossing Apartments, Vinyl Cuts, Grace Automotive, The Beeve, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Papa John's. And again, we're so grateful for those sponsors and encourage you all to head on out and support those local businesses. And as well, Jordan's got an update for University Athletics. The women's basketball team is in a pretty tight battle in the second quarter of their first round of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, got about a minute left, and it is 20-22 favoring DeSalle. And so we'll see how that comes up at halftime. But it's been tale of two quarters for them. First quarter dominated by the Knights, second quarter dominated by DeSalle. So we'll keep you updated as that progresses.
And I believe I left out a sponsor, Katana Hibachi and Sushi Express. Again, another delicious local restaurant. As we get set for the second quarter of play, that's number 6, Knighton, coming on a little late. And Arnold again dominated in faceoffs in the first. He was 9 for 11 as they do battle here again. And there's a kick back towards his teammate. So there's a good recovery off the faceoff by Southwestern, but they lose it. Still a tight battle for possession here. Southwestern on the attack now. There's some room down the middle. Mishandles it. There's a good defensive check there by Mike Brown.
Yeah, it was a really good recovery on the defense. Again, you have those unsettled situations, and it's hard to stay exactly where you need to be. So the defense did a good job rotating and throwing good checks to deter that shot.
Lots of speed towards the goal for Campbell. He's checked there by number 2, Gannon Lyles, sophomore from Mesa, Arizona. But that was Cade McDonald coming out with it across the field for his teammates. Now through the middle, slicing that through a body, but it gets to Lightfoot. He's able to handle that easily. An outlet pass. Now is Lyson be able to get it to his teammates, and they will reset with Gabe King.
And the defender there, Tyke Lisenby, that was just great ball control by him. Not just the awareness to get up the field, but to make that catch, maintain possession, and dish it out to the offense. Really impressed by him on that.
I believe that's Zach Sullivan making moves, slicing towards the goal. He scores. Lots of nifty moves by Zach Sullivan, eventually able to shake away from his defender and put in his third of the evening.
Yeah, what I think I've been impressed with him is a lot of his shots have been a little off balance. He hasn't really been able to plant his feet and really drive his body into his shot. His earlier goal that he had from the center, he was kind of backing away. That one a little off angle, and still having just the power to drive that home is impressive.
They're going to give that one to Southwestern. They're going to hold up the play, though. And Jaden Arnold will come out, and they'll get Richie Johnson in there, the senior defender. This is O'Donnell with it. Going to face up Johnson, go right past him, looking for a shot. Not enough space, though, so he'll scamper back on out and reset for his teammate again. Lots of slipping there. We've had lots of rain the past few days here in Buena Vista, so that turf certainly is wet, and you can easily slip despite the cleats. There's a good move towards the goal. Lots of power, and he scores.
And one of the hardest parts about being a goaltender is doesn't matter how well you play, good scorers, good shooters are going to find a way to score. All right, you're virtually never going to shut a team out unless there's a massive mismatch in the team's overall. And so it's no surprising. That was a tough angle and just an absolutely great finish by the Pirates.
Now is Joey Prim getting it done for Southwestern, bringing them within one now. Just over 2 minutes gone in the second quarter. There's a good battle by Jaden Arnold. There's a little bit of a shoulder check. Trying to free up some space for his teammates. He will. I think that's JT Katria going towards the goal. He scores!
That's exactly what the Knights needed. A quick answer. That's something they've kind of haven't been able to produce up to this point, is that quick rush, that quick transition, converting that to a goal. That's how you build momentum.
And real nice play still inside the circle by Jaden Arnold to give a shoulder check there to the Southwestern attacker and free up some space for JT Cotrier. So JT Cotrier been heavily in the mix of things. Able to make it 8-6 in favor of Southern Virginia. Jaden Arnold back in the circle for the Knights. And there's a nice win there from Southwestern. That was, again, number 31. Trey Pena's been on the draws all night. He's going towards the goal. Going to circle back around. Look for the open man. Good defense, though. Good recovery by Southern Virginia to block off any shot attempt. As Southwestern going to change things up and get their attackers in there.
And Pena is just a freshman for Southwestern. So, again, seeing him have success at the draw circle or at the face-off is, again, that makes the coaches very happy. That means bright future.
This is Swandal for Southwestern back behind the goal, just outside the circle. Knight defenders giving watch. It's White Garrett in there. And around the ring they go, Southwestern. Looking towards the middle, loses control. Took a swing at it, but the ball had left the pocket before he let go of it. Looking for space. Nice feed inside and a goal for Southwestern. That was number 14, I believe, Jackson Strasser, the sophomore attack from Plano, Texas.
That's the danger of a good crease man. You don't need much space. Just enough to make that catch, turn, and fire. And you think you got it covered. You give them an extra foot without recognizing it, and they can make you pay for it just like that. So the defense is going to want to try to get that stick in front of that inside crease man, try to knock down those, or at least make those significantly more difficult.
Those pure goal scorers really seem to know where the net is, allowing for that quick turnaround and quick release, as Strasser showed on that one. 8-7, again, still a very tight one. Lots of Knights and Pirates battling for possession off of the face-off still. And Southwestern going to come out with it, make a move around two Knights and free up some space. That was Garrett in pursuit, and they'll go back behind the goal for Strasser again.
Yeah, Cade McDonald's one of the big scorers of this Pirates team, so it doesn't surprise me. He's got a good handle on the ball, and he showed it off right there, navigating through at least three Knights.
Cade McDonald going one-on-one with JT Cotrier, who's had a solid night himself so far. Scored the last night's marker. There's a shot off of, I think that went off Lightfoot. Maybe the post. You could see him tapping the post, maybe thanking it for him.
Yeah, as a goaltender, you always say that you love the post and hate the ball. The pipe is your friend.
JT Cotrier gets shaken off as that one's going to sail over top the crossbar, and Cade McDonald will grab it. Just 47 seconds remaining on the shot clock. They'll send it back for Hudgens. He's got a couple on the night.
They're going to reset their offense. Again, this nice spacing up top with the dodge. He's going to look for a pass inside.
O'Donnell for Strasser. In there, scores! Strasser again, his second in the last couple of minutes.
Like we said, it just takes a foot of space for a good crease man to catch and score.
So a couple of times in a row, the Knights lose track of Strasser right in front of Lightfoot and puts it past him for another one. And Southwestern, just like that, has tied it up 8-8. And that'll send Pena and Jaden Arnold back to for the face-off. Pena won the last one, but Jaden Arnold's had his number for the most part tonight. And there's a win for Southern Virginia. On the attack they go. That's Isaac Finley. Look for a moment that he would come off. Now he will.
Again, they're going to rotate in their offensive personnel, take their time. They got 60 seconds to work with.
This is Gabe King here on the near side, bottom of your screen. Then Peyton Merwin, he got the first one on the evening for Southern Virginia. Now Porter Wells. Being shadowed by a Pirate defender looking for space. He gets checked. Good reception there. I think that was Tyson Mowry and back behind the goal. Good spin off trying to create some space. Looking towards the middle. There it is. But a good defensive play by Southwestern.
Flag is thrown. Looked to me like it might have been a cross-check inside, which is going to be, I believe that's a 1-minute releasable. And so the Knights are going to get their man-up opportunity right here.
Clay Hackey's going to leave that one off for Porter Wells.
It looks like it was a slash call, so basically kind of wildly swinging your stick. They call it a slash, and you'll find yourself in the box every time for that. It's one of the toughest things for a defensive player. You got that big stick. It's very tempting to just start, attacking people with it.
Both teams waiting for the officials to get things set. Southern Virginia on the man advantage now, where I believe they still are 1 for 2 at this point. Almost 6 minutes gone in the second quarter. Now Gabe King. Clay Hackey, he'll survey. Dust it off. There's a good save there from Walsh. It bounced off his stick and almost back into the net, but a good recovery. And Southwestern able to stave that one off. Still one man down, though. A good steal. There's Mike Brown going towards the goal. Straight in. He scores.
Always tough when a deep hole gets possession right there in front. The angles are all different. That's difficult for any goaltender to save. But realistically, what that comes down to is the great individual effort, both defensively and then the ball control coming down on the offense to attack. Again, fantastic play by the Knights, and doesn't surprise me who it came from.
Mike Brown, the senior defender, again, a dual sport athlete. He's been all over the place tonight and had a pretty good start to the season for himself. From Leesburg, Virginia, out of Flint Mill High School. Flint Hill, my mistake. Now Jaden Arnold, another win. He's going to reset things. And now Gabe King takes this.
Knights are substituting their long pulls off. Traditionally not the people you want on offense unless it's unsettled like we just saw, getting all their short pulls on the field.
Now is in behind for Gabe King and eventually comes back out for Porter Wells. He'll make a couple of dekes back towards down low to the goal line looking for King. But it goes over top of his reach, out of bounds, and Southwestern takes control.
Yeah, and they're going to call that one a pass. Looked like it was a little close to me between a shot and a pass, but they're going to say it was a pass, so the ball goes to the Pirates.
Walsh was looking for some friends, and he finally gets one. But three Knights converge on Southwestern. There's a steal. So another forced turnover. It's Mike Brown back in possession going towards the goal.
Yeah, caused turnovers. Again, the Knights have struggled with that up to this point and finding a lot of success with it today.
Gabe King again slips on that wet turf. Experienced a lot of rain here in BV in the last couple of days. As King's going to slow things down as Mike Brown comes off. In for him is Clay Hackey.
Knights taking a second, resting up. They got 45 seconds to work with. They're setting up their play, and it looks like we're going to go 1v1.
Gabe King through the legs of Walsh.
Now, that's just a great individual effort by Gabe King. I think Walsh is going to want that one back. I don't think he thought he was going to release quite at that point. In fact, it looked like Gabe was looking inside for a feed, and he kind of caught everyone off guard by releasing that. I don't think Walsh was quite ready to come down for it. He had good position, but it was just a great finish. Again, good shooters find ways, and that is just individual effort by Gabe King. Very impressive.
So quick release. Walsh not quite expecting it. And Southern Virginia up 10-8, regaining that 2-goal lead as there's a win from Southwestern. That time it wasn't Pena, it was Caleb Knighton, I believe. Southwestern in control as they get their attackers back on the field here after winning that faceoff. Lofted up high for Grant Campbell. Then back for Matthew Houts. He's going to sidestep a Knight defender. Look back to the middle for Strasser. He's been dangerous in there, up high in the air. Lightfoot not able to grab it. Now he does. And he's inside the circle, so he's safe from any Pirates, and he's going to stretch the field early.
That's one of the ways I'm very happy with Lightfoot. His ability right there, especially as a freshman. The ball came in at a weird bounce. It kind of hit somebody, so it slowed itself. Those can sometimes be the most difficult things to react to as a goalie because your body is ready for one angle, and you have to adjust last minute. He was able to do it, come up with a great save there.
Nice spin from Porter Wells, then lowers the shoulder on a defender. Around the ring they go. This is Gabe King. 3 goals, I believe, on the evening so far. Leads the team with 16 on the season.
Looks like they're pushing for an isolation there from the corner. And now they're moving it up. Okay, now they're clearing people through. You can see them kind of waving defender or attackers through.
This is Clay Hackey towards the goal, trying to go between the legs. Again, it looked like it bounces off the turf.
It was an identical shot to what Gabe King just had, except it was just a bit more to the left. But the Knights seem to really be favoring that right side dodge down, again, the alley up those hash marks.
Here's Peyton Merwin just to the outside of the post, looking for his second on the day.
Knights maintain possession. It was a shot. They're closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds, and we're going to go with a timeout, it looks like.
So a timeout called, I believe, and 10-8 is the score in favor of Southern Virginia. So after Southwestern able to mount a comeback and knot things up at 8 with those 2 quick goals from Strasser, Southern Virginia really dominating possession here off of, again, face-offs won by Jaden Arnold. He's really been dominating Pena in that category.
Yeah, I'm going to say that the goal differential obviously favors Southern Virginia University right now, but we've been really even up to this point. I think both teams have had great runs where it feels like they've got 2 to 3 minutes where offense is clicking, the defense is on top of it, and then 2 to 3 minutes where the other team kind of takes control. And right now the Knights have just capitalized on their 2 to 3 minutes of consistency more than the Pirates.
And another couple of caused turnovers for the Knights turned into goals, including that last one from Mike Brown, I believe.
Yeah, say stats that really stick out to me right now. The Pirates came into this game about 85% on clears, including being 100% perfect in their first game against Birmingham Southern. I think they were 11 for 11. This game so far, they are 3 for 7. So they've struggled more than they're used to in the clears, and that's been a big advantage for the Knights. And then obviously, like you said, face-offs. Right now, the Knights are winning. They've won 12 out of 19 face-offs, which is another position that the Pirates just aren't used to being in.
And the Knights, again, throwing lots of shots towards the goal. But I think this quarter have been a little more accurate, gotten more shots on the net. 7 shots in this quarter, 5 of them have turned into goals. As Jordan mentioned in the first quarter, lots of shots thrown towards Walsh, but lots of them not able to get the twine. Southern Virginia, again, still in control, just 12 seconds left on the shot clock.
And Gabe King with the ball, I have a feeling he's going for a shot.
Here's King, and it's going to go off of Walsh. Good save there, able to tighten his grip on that post. Southwestern going to try and get out of harm's way. Another bobbled reception of the pass. And just barely out of the reach of, I think that was number 5 of the Knights, Tyson Mowry.
Failure to advance.
And that's going to not able to cross midfield in time, so good pressure again by Southern Virginia.
Yeah, and that's really frustrating for the head coach of the Pirates. You have got to get over that midfield line, that 50-yard line here on this field, and he caught it about the 45 over here. He had 5 yards to go, and he took the longest route possible to get over with that time waning. You see the coach was was wanted to communicate with his guy, just get over that line. And that's something he's got to be a bit more aware of in that situation.
And Zach Sullivan had lots of room there, but he skies it over the top of the crossbar. Knights on the attack. Good defensive play there by Southwestern. And there's a check. That's number 12, Declan O'Donnell, going to the ground. He's still with it, though. So good strength by O'Donnell, and they're going to be able to get it back across midfield in time.
Yeah, and there's a flag down right now as well. There was a push with possession. So you're going to see Southwestern really try to take advantage of essentially a free shot.
I think that was JT Couturier going off for Southern Virginia. Here comes McDonald. He's their leading goal scorer. Good save by Lightfoot.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic save, especially the ball's coming from behind the cage at X, crossing up to right in front of your face. You have to face your back to where the ball ends up, turn, and react. It is extremely difficult for any goaltender. And again, great poise and great positioning for him of just being big as a goaltender, taking up as much space as possible. He's not a terribly big guy, but he's playing like it. That's what you want your goaltender to do.
We'll see Southwestern still in control. This is McDonald at the top. That was Hout sending it back towards McDonald. Now behind the goal they go. Here's O'Donnell. Nifty pass inside. Another score for Southwestern.
I believe all of their man-up goals have come from either X or, again, those positions behind the cage, rolling up, what we call a crease roll, and shooting, or that feed to the inside. And Knights are going to have to find a way to really slow down that danger from the X position, because they're finding a lot of success right now.
So we saw a couple of nice feeds inside to Strasser earlier in this quarter. And a nice feed inside there for Southwestern to get within one. There's another win for Jaden Arnold. Now it's Gabe King. Lots of speed on the outside. He'll send it cross field and then come back to the middle of the field for Wells. He's looking behind the goal now to the front. Then he'll send it back for King. As well again, as Jordan mentioned, a big part of this offense. He's going to have to get going this year. Nice feed inside for Zach Sullivan. And couldn't quite get a handle on it. But Southern Virginia retains possession.
Again, as a coach, you always want to get the goal, but the fact they're getting that look is very encouraging. That's the kind of thing that you do that 2, 3, 4 times, it starts translating very quickly to good goals.
There's a rifling shot from Gabe King that goes out of bounds. Didn't hit anything, so again, the shot clock down to 30 at this point. There's Porter Wells singing it towards the goal. A good save from Walsh. Able to get all of it and bring possession back to his squad. But again, a really suffocating pressure here on this side of the field from Southern Virginia. Facing 2 checks was Gabe Morgan. There's a flag there flying up in the air from the official on the far side.
Yeah, he's going to get called for a hold. He had that stick around his neck and just kind of left it there a little too long and pulled him back with it. So the Knights again, it's a free shot for the Pirates, and then they're going to get the man-up opportunity.
JT Couturier is going to come back on the field on this very important defensive stance for Southern Virginia. Man down again. Here comes Southwestern. Nice feed inside for Strasser. He's going to, and it did go in, I believe.
They're finding so much success on those inside feeds to Strasser. The Knights are going to have to find a way to really slow down that inside pass, because it looks great. Really, the rotation, the movement, and you can tell that the team trusts Strasser because they're looking for him every single time they go through. They're looking for wherever he is and how to get him that ball, and he is capitalizing. So, great effort by the Pirates as a whole right there.
Strasser, not one of the bigger guys on the field, just at 5'9", but able to find those spots, those holes in the defense. That's his 3rd goal right in front of Lightfoot. And back on the attack, one face-off. And there's a good defensive play, though, a check on the stick. Able to grab possession back for Southern Virginia.
Knights easily clear the ball. Again, something they've done very well today. And you may wonder why the Knights are not man down. We said there was a flag earlier for a hold. If the team with the flag scores, the flag is waved off, assuming it's what we call a releasable penalty, which that was, and now we're even again.
So a hot start scoring in the second quarter, 5 in the first 5 minutes. The Knights have gone cold, so they're going to want to answer here as Southwestern again comes back from 2 down to knot things up, this time at 10.
Again, Knights getting their offensive personnel on. And go figure, the ball is in the person most comfortable with it, Gabe King.
This is Gabe King, 3 goals on the evening. He's going to march right outside the circle. Good move by Wells. And a bit of an errant pass there. It's going to go out of bounds before Peyton Merwin gets to it. And possession to Southwestern. Knights going to have to scramble to get their defenders on. So Pirates in control, just 20 seconds to go in the quarter. So a big turnover there from Southern Virginia. They were able to keep it until the buzzer went for the end of the half. There's O'Donnell. There he scores.
Seconds are clicking down. You've got 10 or 12, 11, 10 seconds. Defense really needs to constrict in those moments because 10 seconds left, they're not going to be passing around. They are going to goal. So Knights caught a little unaware of the time left, just need to kind of collapse a bit quicker and really deter that kind of easy run through the middle.
So it was a pretty big scramble once that ball went out of bounds. Knights trying to hustle on their defensive players and just lost track of the middle of the field. And just like that, the Pirates have vaulted themselves into the lead. Knights going to try and counter here with just 10 seconds to go, though. So a big draw here for Jaden Arnold. But a tough turnover by Porter Wells, who had possession, but an errant pass back out of bounds. Here comes JT Cotrier. Towards the goal. He scores!
Jeez. That's lacrosse in a nutshell. The speed of that, 10 seconds, you don't even need that. You need 9 seconds to win the face-off on the opposite side, too. It wasn't even – usually you see those quick goals because the face-off man wins it with the advantage down the field. They won it on the opposite side of the goal circle. Were able to run down, release that shot, and just find net. I mean, that is just, again, sheer effort, and that is why lacrosse is such a fun sport in a nutshell right there.
JT Couture's been flying all over the place in this one, but a big boost for Southern Virginia after allowing 3 consecutive goals from the Pirates, able to convert there with just 1 second to go in the second quarter, in the half, and Pena and Arnold will just lay loose there. And we will head to the halftime break, knotted up at 11, so pretty eventful first half, super competitive. Just looking at the live stats and all those statistical categories, most of them are pretty even so far. So again, both teams looking for their first victory on the season. And Knights have done a lot of good things here. Tied at 11 with Southwestern.
Yeah, the big thing here is I really do think that the face-off dominance by the Knights is and the cause turnovers that they've been able to, or just as disruptive as they've been, are really what's the strength of the Knight team in general right now. And then for the Pirates, their ability to move the ball on offense, find those inside lanes, pass the ball around, and confuse the defense has been the strength of their team. And those two clearly counterbalance each other because we're knotted up 11-11.
And with that, we'll head to a brief halftime break. We'll return a couple minutes before the beginning of the third quarter to report you with more news and shout out our sponsors. Welcome back, everyone, to Knight Stadium for the second half of action in this NCAA Men's Division III Lacrosse non-conference matchup between the Southwestern University Pirates and your Southern Virginia University Knights. It was a very eventful first half, Jordan, 11-11. We are not at that coming into the second half of play. Lots of quality attacking and defensive stances from both sides. What stuck out to you in the first half?
Well, I mean, definitely, as we were talking about, face-offs favoring the Knights, caused turnovers, or the disruption of the Knights team was very impressive. And then on the Pirate side of it, their efficiency and taking just full advantage of the man-up opportunities that they have had have really balanced this game out. And I think that's really what we're looking for on the Pirate side. Can they continue to be dominant in the man-up area, but probably more importantly, from like a consistency standpoint, can they stop the individual play of the Knights? A lot of their goals have come from Gabe King or Zach Sullivan creating space and creating their own goals in a one-on-one opportunity, versus for the Knights, can they slow down the crisp passing and the aware eyes, let's call it, for the Pirates, and start forcing them into more difficult situations than these passes to a cutting person inside of the crease or right next to the goal for those easy looks. So again, it's going to be a battle of two different strategies, two different strengths and different weaknesses, and we're going to see who comes out on top, and I'm excited for it.
And before the second half of action starts, again, we want to thank our athletic sponsors for Southern Virginia University, those sponsors being Cornerstone Bank, Straws, Drinks and Eats, River Crossing Apartments, Vinyl Cuts, Grace Automotive, The Beeve, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Papa John's, and Katana, Hibachi, and Sushi Express. Thank you so much to those sponsors, and we encourage all who are tuning in, live around the area, to go check out those local sponsors and help support them. So Pena and Jaden Arnold back at it in the circle for the face-off. Again, as Jordan mentioned, face-off's a bright spot for Southern Virginia. Jaden Arnold doing the job. He does it again, sweeping that along for his teammate JT Katrier, who had that tying goal with 1 second to go in the first half.
I think maybe some of those face-off statistics were a little misleading coming in here for the Knights, because I know that Jaden Arnold was dealing with a little bit of an injury, and I think that clearly hampered him in some of those early games, because he is in full form tonight, and you're seeing why he is a senior face-off guy, and he is dominating in that area. So good for him.
This is Gabe King in control again. He had 3 goals in that first half, leads the team with 16 on the year. He's motioning for Porter Wells to clear out with, again, that one-on-one play from Gabe King has oftentimes kept this team afloat early on this season. Lets it go, and it just wide of the left post next to Walsh.
That is a big, confident overhand shot. Very, very impressive to see the power that he gets in there. He gets that on frame. As you've seen, he's been able to score.
Wells again looking to the middle for King. He dropped it. Lets it go again. Good save by Walsh. They get it back. The shot clock would reset, but a good job. But that's number 42 of Southwestern. I think that was Fabian able to grab control, and again, but they're going to have to get it over that center field line in time, and they will clear.
And immediately throw it away, and the Knights ball. And I say one thing that Gabe King's going to want to look for this next step, those 2 last shots were in the exact same spot, and the second one, the goaltender was all over it. You want to vary that up so the goaltender can't be, you kind of predict how you're releasing that ball. So we're going to look for that again. Gabe's a scorer. He's going to find a way to mix that up and punch that through.
You could see Southwestern head coach Bill Bowman not happy about that last possession. Getting upfield, there's a shot, let go, just wide of Walsh. Southwestern that time was able to clear past center field, but quickly turned it over after that. But they do get it back here. Says O'Donnell in control. Now McDonald. Again, big goal getter for Southwestern. And back for O'Donnell on the reset.
Yeah, it's an interesting element of lacrosse. You oftentimes compare it to hockey or other sports, particularly in this case, the subbing on and subbing off, which is frequent. The difference is instead of subbing people for stamina or continuity, you're subbing by personnel type. So offense, defense are constantly switching on and off the field, favoring the situation.
Back in the middle there, Strasser again.
He's having a day.
Freed up some space. That's 3 or 4 goals for him. I'll have to check the statistics for that. But Strasser again freeing up space in the middle of the field in front of Lightfoot. And just like that, Pirates on the board, 12-11 now the score.
That's 4 goals for Strasser already on the day. They're doing a great job of finding him. I know if I'm a goaltender and I've seen that consistently, I'm telling my guys, someone's got to hit him. As he's crossing through, someone's got to be able to find a good legal hit, disrupt that, and not make him feel like he can get away with that.
And Jordan, I'll ask at that point, if he's doing it so often and getting so much space, would you challenge that if you're Lightfoot and get in his grill there, or would you stay deep in your goal?
Really depends on where. Those last 2 looks that he's had has been just high, a few feet in front of that crease, which is a real dangerous spot for the goalie to come out. But where he's coming from those lower X positions and coming to the front, absolutely. The goaltender wants to try to step in front, maybe pick off that pass, or even if he needs to, lay a shoulder himself into that inside man, because he's having so much success, you got to try something, right?
So this is Clay Hackey now. 12-11 the Pirates lead. Knights trying to knot things back up here early in the third quarter. Just 3 minutes gone. And again, this is the first all-time meeting between these two squads, so getting to know each other pretty well. In a tight contested contest, Clay Hackey spinning, and he's going to lose it. He had some space right in front of Walsh, and Southwestern quickly gets it past center field, and on the attack they go. This is Howell.
And I think that's something that Coach Lamb's going to point out reviewing film. That's the 3rd time, I believe, where what we call the release man, or the attacker who slips inside from the guy with the ball in the dodge, was wide open. That pass needed to be there inside for a much, much easier shot, and Knights weren't able to pull the trigger on it and find him.
There's another goal for Southwestern.
That was a pure muscle shot. He just found his angle, found his opportunity, and just powered that home.
That was Swandle able to march right in there and make it a 2-goal advantage for Southwestern. Their first 2-goal advantage since it was 3-1 early on in the first quarter. So they'll send Jaden Arnold, of course, back out there for this face-off.
Again, seeing the efficiency of the Pirates is it's fun to watch. It's fun to see the movement and them taking advantage of those opportunities.
Jaden Arnold protecting that ball nicely for JT Katria. They've worked well off those face-offs. Lots of speed for JT coming in. He's marked by a defender.
I believe they called a ward. Essentially, he's using his free hand. He's got one hand on the stick. He's cradling, and he's using that free hand too much to push away the stick. Not allowed to do that. It's a ward, turnover.
So a quick turnover despite winning the face-off there by Jaden Arnold and then JT Katrier. So Knights putting themselves in a little bit of a hole here early in the third quarter. Down by 2, 13-11 the score. But still plenty of time to get things sorted out.
Again, so far this has been a game of runs. Everyone's been very successful in 2-3 minute bursts, and then the other team will flip. Let's see if the Knights can find their flip.
There's Strasser again, just barely not able to get it to him, but he had an opening once again. As Lightfoot now in the goal faces, I think that's O'Donnell with the ball. They're going to go back up top, one-on-one. They go down below through the goalie. And in there, another goal for Southwestern.
So that's Lightfoot had the big disadvantage of a screen right there. So again, I'm a former goaltender, so I kind of know exactly what he's seeing. That movement to our right side of the field, and then the defense trying to close those gaps ended up just getting right in front of where that shot was. And I guarantee you Lightfoot didn't even see that shot coming through until it was basically right between his legs. Very good release and way to use that screen by the Pirates.
So clear, some pretty good adjustments made during the halftime by Southwestern. They've vaulted into a 3-goal lead right now, 14-11. Just over 5 minutes gone. Here's Mike Brown needing a much-needed push here. He gets checked after the shot, and that will be a flag called on, I believe that was number 6, Caleb Knighton of Southwestern. He's going to go off.
Brown knew that he was getting that. You see, he hit the ground, and he just looked. Where's the ref? I hope he saw that. That was definitely loose ball push. You're going to see that called. That flag's going to be thrown every time. So now the Knights need to take advantage. Again, the Pirates have had a run. They've had, a 3-goal run up to this point. The Knights need to respond and now get their 2 to 3 minute burst of energy in this game.
Now it's Porter Wells again for Clay Hackey. Around the ring they go. Back up top now for Wells. Now Gabe King. Fake shot towards the middle. Now a shot, and it's saved by Walsh. Nicely right into the breadbasket pretty much there. Not too difficult of a shot to save. And they're going to stretch the field, but Lightfoot smartly comes out to play this one. He's going to be checked by Howell Jr., and he does get that ball safely over center field and back on the attack. This is Clay Hackey, but he's going to lose it. And back come the Pirates.
And it looks like we are all even now. So the man-up opportunity, they weren't able to convert. They had some good opportunities and just not really able to get the quality shot off. Again, that one that they got was about 13, 14 yards out. It was basically high to high, so he shot high and he released or he finished the ball high. That's one of the easier saves that a goalie's going to find, not the look that Coach Lamb was looking for in that man-up opportunity.
It's Joey Prim feeding it back for O'Donnell. Prim's been wreaking some havoc in this one. Now here comes O'Donnell. Looking again for Strasser. Man, he got freed again right along the goal line, right next to Lightfoot. Another battle for possession now. Southwestern comes out on top with it.
Yeah, the Knight sticks were just a little bit quicker and able to disrupt that catch, make it difficult, but that's the dangerous thing. The look was there, and that's what the Knights want to avoid because he is just finding space.
That shot might have skipped off the turf and back over top of the crossbar, out of bounds, and shot clock is at 16. Looking towards the middle. Now it's mishandled by O'Donnell. Knights going after it. O'Donnell able to pick it back up. 5 seconds out on the shot clock. O'Donnell's going to have to launch back towards the goal, and they will not get it off in time. Knights will grab possession. Nice defensive stance there, Jordan.
Yep, and where they're picking the ball up from, they want to go quick because, again, people are subbing on and off. The faster they go, the easier they're clear, just like that. Found a wide-open man right in the middle.
Here comes Mike Brown. You'll leave it off for Gabe King there on the far side, top of your screen. Now Zach Sullivan, he's been a little quiet here in the second quarter and beginning of the third quarter. Had a quick start with 3 goals.
Yeah, and Sullivan, he was the one Knight who found success receiving feeds or the assist and converting on those. They need more of him in the center, catching and shooting.
Here comes Gabe King down low. Good save, Walsh.
Yeah,
and then Clay Hack is going to deck a Pirate there after they grab possession.
Gabe King just kind of underhand threw that because he saw the flag be thrown. He knew they were going to get a full possession, and he didn't like the look that he had, and so he kind of just whipped it at the cage. But now we're going to go again. The Knights get another man-up opportunity, and these are the opportunities that you're not going to have enough of late into the fourth. So you've got to take advantage and capitalize of them now in the third.
This will be their second man-up opportunity of this quarter. Last one they were not able to convert.
It looks like they called a play there at the end. I think you said Hackey had kind of decked somebody there at the end, and it looks like they called that, if I'm not mistaken, because I can't tell. It looks like they're giving the ball to the Pirates. I think there's a little confusion on the field as to where the ball is actually going to end up.
Because they certainly did throw a flag before that play had ended.
Okay, so it looks like it is going to go to the Knights. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. I don't see a Knight over there in the box, so I don't think they actually threw a flag for Hackey. But there's confusion. The Knight or the refs are conferring, trying to figure out themselves how they want to proceed.
So as the officials get this sorted out, just a couple of team statistics to throw at you. Knights leading the Pirates with 41 shots, so able to let it rip a lot, but haven't been able to put it on Walsh too often. They find themselves in a 14-11 hole. Face-off still in favor of Southern Virginia. 18 out of 26 for Jaden Arnold. Well, the Knights have also been able to cause 6 turnovers, so slowed down a little bit since those early 3 caused turnovers in the first quarter, but that possession does go to Southwestern after conferring for a couple of minutes. Pirates back on the attack.
Yeah, and without a Knight ending up in the box, I'm not entirely clear why they ended up giving that possession to the Pirates, but it must have been something there with the end of that play. Maybe they considered them offsetting, and so the possession arrow went to the Pirates.
Here comes O'Donnell. Good save by Lightfoot. Able to stave it off. Right in the middle is Mike Brown on the attack. He's going to get decked. Knights are going to try and grab possession with JT Katrier. So big body check there from Southwestern on Mike Brown, but Knights back on the attack here. They're going to get Clay Hackey out there.
Yeah, Michael Brown tried to essentially fake that he was going to throw a pass but then keep the ball, and the defender just read it. It looked like a clean hit to me. Didn't hit too high, hit just below the shoulder, and it's just part of the game.
Gabe King scores. Much needed strike there from Gabe King as he was moving to his left, and a good shot back across his body, and it is 14-12 the lead for Southwestern.
Yeah, again, Gabe King doing Gabe King things. He wanted a goal. He found just enough space and found the perfect spot on the left side hip of the goaltender Walsh and was able to bury that one. That's such a difficult save for a goalie. Off stick side, so he right-handed, so his left side, and just buried it.
There's a win for Pena, but he then loses possession, so Peyton Merwin's going to look to pick that one up for Southern Virginia. He goes down. And there's going to be a push called, I believe. Looks like it'll be on Southwestern, as Gabe King will now be in possession.
Yeah, the shot differential on these teams, like you were mentioning earlier, is kind of staggering. The Knights are at least almost 2 times the shots of the Pirates, and yet they're down by 2. So again, I think a lot of that comes from that early first quarter in particular where they shot a lot wide.
Here in that X position, this is, I believe, Tyson Mowry back towards the middle. He was looking for Zach Sullivan, who then got it to Clay Hackey. Nice move around the defender, bounces off the turf wide right to the right side of the post.
Yeah, I think he wanted to try to take 2 or 3 more steps before releasing that one. But fortunately, it goes back, and the Knights are backing it up properly, and so they get possession again.
Here comes Porter Wells. Going to feed for Clay Hackey. A tough receive. That one's blocked by a defender. Then Walsh able to get a handle on it. There's pressure being applied by, I think that's Tyson Mowry again. But Southwestern able to stave off that attack again. So quality goaltending, quality defense so far by the Pirates in this second half.
And it was the second shot in a row where I felt like the Knight attacker could have taken 2 or 3 more steps before releasing it and got a closer shot. And the goaltender was able to come up with the save.
And there's a deflection off of the Walsh clearing attempt. It's going to be whistled down. We'll wait on the call. And I think that's on Southern Virginia, I believe.
Yeah, it looked like he's saying offsides. Yeah, offsides.
Offsides.
30-second technical. And so we had man up for 30 seconds. Again, we've said this too many times in this third quarter. The Knights have this opportunity. They can't squander it. They've got to start taking advantage of these man-up opportunities.
Southern Virginia 1 for 5 on the man advantage, as to Southwestern's 2 for 3. So you really do need to convert, as Jordan was saying. Now Porter Wells in control. He'll leave it off and switch with Clay Hackey. Back towards the other side. There's Porter Wells off the crossbar. Goes back towards the middle. He's upended just in front of the goaltender. And it'll go out of bounds. That should be a shot, though, so Knights will retain possession.
That was the best ball movement we've seen from the Knights all day, finding multiple people to get the shot that they wanted. Good release, just unfortunate, hits the crossbar.
Again for Wells, that's going to go wide of Walsh. But the first couple of times we've seen tonight, Jordan, that they've been opting to go cross field and done it successfully. That's 2 good chances for Porter Wells.
Yeah, and honestly, that we want to see more of that in this man-up, because what they've done up to this point has been very individual play with the opportunity, and it just hasn't worked out the way they wanted. And it looks like the man's been released, so we're all even now.
That was a Pirate defender sprinting back into the defensive zone for the Pirates. Man up is now done. This is Gabe Kinn looking for some space. Good defense, though, by Southwestern. Still going around the ring here. Cuts back to the middle. Bounces off the turf and off Walsh. It's free in the crease. And that'll be covered up by Walsh.
Yeah, again, good defensive stand there by Walsh in particular. Good control of the ball in a chaotic situation, leading his team to a clear, but the Knights come up with it.
There's a good play. I believe that is Wyatt Garrett able to pick it up after a couple of checks. Here comes Clay Hackey shooting it off Walsh out of bounds. That will reset the shot clock, I believe.
Another shot just off. We got to start seeing those come in just a little bit more consistently. Force Walsh to make the save.
Quality goaltending from Walsh here in the third quarter. Really tighten up the defense of Southwestern. Now towards the goal, and he scores. It's waved off. Looked like he was inside that crease area, and Southwestern will get going quickly. The official waved it off immediately.
Yeah, they're going to say what the attacker is looking for is push. So that's the excuse to go in the crease and still scores when you're pushed in there. And they're saying he went in under his own volition, which means the goal's waved off.
Mike Brown, a lot of nice moves to get free of those 3 or 4 Pirate defenders. Getting the approval of the Knights bench and the Knights faithful in attendance here at Knights Stadium. But they still do trail 14-12. Some tight and stingy defense from Southwestern has allowed the Knights only 1 goal in this second half so far.
Yeah, Walsh has really come alive here in this third period. He's had a lot of great saves and just feels more in command of this offense. Although I will say it looks like there's a flag on the field now. Offsides again, possibly.
So free play here for Southern Virginia back behind that X spot. This is Clay Hackey now. Cut back towards the middle. Fires it towards the goal and another missed shot. Clay Hackey rifled that one towards the feet of Walsh. But again, misses the net. So I believe now Southwestern, they'll go a man down. We'll wait for the call. As Jordan mentioned, it's probably offsides. The call is going to be on number 34, Emery Osgood, the junior midfield from Austin, Texas. As we mentioned earlier, Southwestern, the Pirates, they're competing as an independent this year after being in the Heartland Collegiate Lacrosse Conference this past season, earned the runner-up spot, losing in the championship match to Colorado College, I believe. And will soon be joining the Southern Athletic Conference, Southern Athletic Association, rather. As that one goes out of bounds, another unforced error from Southern Virginia, and Southwestern back in control.
Yeah, I know from Coach Lamb's perspective, that's a little frustrating. They've been very good up to this point in the unforced errors, but this third quarter in particular, they just seem to be creeping up. And the last game, the center game, had a lot of unforced errors by the Knights, and we're kind of falling back into old ways. And so I think eventually when we get timeout or we get to the end of the quarter, he's going to bring everyone in, get them composed, breathe in, relax, and then go meet the moment.
Just 1:23 on the clock left in this third quarter. Knights down 14-12 to Southwestern University. Traveling all the way from Texas. Now a good feed towards the middle for Clay Hackey. He scores!
They needed that from Clay Hackey in particular. He has taken probably 6 or 7 of these shots here in this third quarter, and every one of them has been just wide or crossbar or just the goalie hasn't had to really be challenged. Finally, he gets the look dead center, a shooter's dream of a location, and he buries it. Great job by Hackey and really coming full circle and converting that.
So sweet feed from Porter Wells to find Clay Hack in the middle of the field, and finally a converted shot from Southern Virginia. Again, only the second goal allowed by Walsh here in the third quarter. Stingy defense and great goaltending. As there's Jaden Arnold going to go off, and Southwestern will take control off of that on the fault, I believe.
Yeah, illegal procedure. Probably moved just a little early, which is the most common way that you'll get illegal procedure there in the face-off.
This is O'Donnell in control again for Southwestern. For the first time in a while, they've been on the attack. There's a move back towards the middle, bounces off the turf and over top the crossbar. That'll be out of bounds. Southwestern still in control.
We've got 50 seconds to play. They got time. Look at them slow it down and then find the dodge that they want. Just like this, looking backside.
O'Donnell to Hudgens. There's Joey Prim out there. He's been a very dangerous player tonight for Southwestern. And again, look for Strasser in the middle of the field just outside the crease. This is O'Donnell going to go near side for Hudgens. He'll spin away and let it go towards the goal. Good save by Lightfoot. And just 10 seconds to go, Mike Brown's going to try and get it out of harm's way. A nice fake there to elude Strasser. But they're probably going to run out of time before they can get an attempt on goal. And that'll do it for the third quarter of play. Knights now trailing just by one, 14-13 against Southwestern University, a barn burner here at Knight Stadium. And before we'll turn some time over to Jordan for some analysis on that quarter, we want to again shout out those athletic sponsors of Southern Virginia University: Cornerstone Bank, Straws Drinks and Eats, River Crossing Apartments, Vinyl Cuts, Grace Automotive, The Beeve, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Papa John's, and Katana Hibachi and Sushi Express. So Knights struggled through most of that third quarter. Were able to get things going thanks to a couple of opportunities on the man advantage. What did you see out of both teams through that quarter, Jordan?
Defense. Much improved defense considering the first and second quarter. There were a lot of not just goals, but really good-looking goals, wide-open people, easy shots. You saw much less of that in this third quarter. Both teams really came out with a different energy on the defensive side of the ball. Things got a little sloppy there at different times. We saw some clears that you almost couldn't tell who was clearing and who was riding at one point because everyone kind of kept dropping. But again, you're playing in the rain. Those kind of things are going to happen. So coming into this fourth quarter now, again, the face-off advantage for the Knights is staggering. That is the number one thing that they have going for them that is getting them more and more opportunities. The Knights need, I think, to slow things down a little bit, find more rotation in their offense so they're not so reliant on one person dodging and creating. And then from there, they're going to start seeing lots of success as they start opening up and converting some good shots that just keep going wide. They bring that in just those 2-3 inches. I think we could see 6-7 goals from the Knights this quarter, and that's kind of the expectation and the goal. From the Pirates side of things, again, when they can be settled on offense, they've been efficient and effective. The Knights did a good job of disrupting that here in this third quarter. But if they can continue to calm themselves down, rotate that ball around, I think that the third quarter will favor their offensive efficiency up to this point. So again, two slightly different styles, 2 points of emphasis or strengths and weaknesses. It's led us 13-14, about where we were at half. Let's see how it comes together here in this fourth and exciting quarter.
So Arnold and Pena will cross sticks here for the start of the fourth quarter. Arnold has, for the most part, owned the face-off circle, but that's going to be won by Southwestern. That puts the draws 19-10 now. Another flag on Southern Virginia as Garrett is in pursuit of, I think that's McDonald.
And I'm not sure if the ref maybe saw a slash or a hold there. I didn't really see anything that was cause for a flag to be thrown. My only thought is maybe a slash because sometimes it doesn't look like you hit a helmet or something, but you hear it. And we're up in the booth, so we don't necessarily hear that field volume, so it might have been a slash there.
Now back behind the goal, now they go. Is this McDonald? A nifty shot. It's going to go off either Lightfoot or the crossbar. Southern Virginia looks to take control, but I believe Southwestern will retain it.
While they're setting up for this man-down try for the Knights, we just want to point out that the Southern Virginia University women's basketball team was in the first round of the NCAA tournament and falls 53-42 to DeSalle, who is a phenomenal team, 25-2 on the season. They were favored for a reason. They're a very good program. We're so proud of the women's basketball team, what they've accomplished on the year, and being this competitive with such a good program. It's tremendous strides for the Knights. We look forward to them resting up and gearing up for what would be an exciting next season. But congratulations to them on making the NCAA tournament.
So Southwestern still in control on the man up now. He'll take a shot at it, and it goes just past Lightfoot out of bounds. Didn't touch anything on the way in.
I was going to say, that was number 24, Matt Caldwell. Again, you can see the confidence in the shooter. He just tried to will that in.
There's Caldwell again. He released that one pretty early. It sails over top the goal and everyone. And again, no reset on the shot clock. Didn't hit anything on the way through. This is Hudgens back behind the goal.
I think he's been quiet for a while, and he's just trying to get his bearings back. Let's just hope for the Knights he doesn't find him, because he's got a good shot.
McDonald, a little fake shot, and that's going to deflect off of, I think that was Hudgens in behind the goal, out of bounds, possession to Southern Virginia.
Yeah, very good defensive stand. That's what the Knights have needed. Again, continuing from their defensive prowess in the third and really coming out strong here in that man-down opportunity.
So there's a cause turnover there from Cade McDonald, it looked like, as Knights were just getting over center field. So still on the man down, I believe. It's coming to a close now.
And now we're even. He's been released. Number 2 coming onto the field.
Gannon Lyles coming on. Cade McDonald face up behind the goal. Just to the outside of that left post, past a Lightfoot, out of bounds. Southwestern will go grab another ball from the sideline.
Again, those wide shots are starting to plague the Pirates at this point. They're having a lot of releases that are going wide of the net and not forcing Jace to make actual saves.
There's a check from Gannon Lyles. Back on the far side for O'Donnell, I believe. There's a feed back towards the middle, and a low shot. Good save right along the goal line, but Lightfoot able to keep it out. A good save, good composure, and Knights will look to regroup here.
And I just got to point out that Brown, who has been phenomenal this whole game, had great one-on-one defense against Caldwell, the leading scorer for the Pirates. He had a good move. Brown held his ground. Really, really good defensive stand right there.
Clay Hackey will reset for the Knights. Dust it off for Gabe King, the big goal scorer for Southern Virginia. 4 goals on the day. He's certainly been held to very little offense here in the second half. Tight defense and good goaltending has produced that for Southwestern. Back behind the goal and a good feed. Lots of speed going towards the goal. They're going to wrap around the back of the goal again. Feed towards the middle, just high. Not sure if it deflected. Look to go straight out, and Knights will have just 24 seconds on the shot clock.
So again, that's the look that they really want and need more of. That inside feed and that quick release. More of that equals more goals for this team.
Gabe King, 12 and counting off the side of the goal. He's going to pick it up again. They will reset it to 60 seconds. So a key play there from Gabe King to recover after that shot to grab control.
Yeah, it was a really low angle shot. I kind of wonder if the reason he shot that is to reset the shot clock.
And Gabe King can lose control of his entire stick, and now McDonald back the other way for Southwestern as the troops come off for Southwestern to get their attackers on. They'll go back up top for Hudgens.
Yeah, anytime a player loses their stick like that, in lacrosse, you heard me say it earlier on the broadcast, they call it a yard sale. You'll hear that consistently. The entire crowd shouts it. The bench, the bench that causes it shouts it, but that's a pretty common term that you'll hear in the lacrosse field.
That was Henry Cool trading places with Hudgens back towards the middle, off the crossbar.
Jace Lightfoot is really standing tall right now, and he's taking a lot of shots. And if he's not getting the save, he's forcing them to shoot around him in a way that they're missing, hitting crossbar, everything else. He is affecting the way that they are shooting right now, and you want to see that in your freshman goaltender.
So Lightfoot standing his ground. Important stave off here for Southern Virginia. This is back now for Hudgens. They'll reset with just 30 seconds left on the clock. Hudgens is directing traffic, looking for a screen. He's going to go back the other way. Good shifty move there. He's quick. There's a couple of goals on the evening. And down deep for O'Donnell. Towards the middle, and that will be I think there was contact on that screen for O'Donnell, and back the other way we go for Southern Virginia.
Knights finding a lot of success in their clears today. A lot of just easy clears translating to situations like this. That was a great catch. Almost a quick turnover by the Knights. Now they're going to slow it down, get their offensive personnel in. And again, time to start converting. Down by 1, 9 minutes to go in the fourth is where the Knights need to be at their best.
Now here comes Porter Wells. Back behind the goal for Zach Sullivan. Now it's Peyton Merwin, had the first goal in the evening for the Knights. Good feedback to the middle, and it's just too hot to handle for Clay Hackey. And that'll be a turnover for the Knights. Southwestern's going to take control. I couldn't see if that went out of bounds, Jordan, or
yeah,
what
looked
the
like
call
it
was.
Just rolled over. He wasn't able to save it.
So a couple of tough turnovers there on passes back towards the middle. We saw one from Porter Wells in the third quarter that led to a Southwestern tally. Knight's going to try and stave this off. Lightfoot having to backpedal towards his goal. Almost runs into the post there, but is able to get back in time, back in his goaltending stance as the Pirates on the attack.
Yeah, it's what we call a full
Another
10-man
feed
ride.
to the middle and another goal. What a pass. That was, again, number 24, Matt Caldwell, able to put it right into the pocket of the attacker. That might have been number 11 on the strike, Matthew Houts.
No, yeah, that's exactly right. There was a good ride. Again, we call it 10-man ride, meaning that the goalie's participating. He's out helping deter a pass. They were able to settle it back in, but just that loose attackman, which has plagued the Knights for most of the day, able to find just enough space to bury that goal.
Pirates lead at 15-13 here off the draw. Big battle for it. As Garrett looking to gain possession, but Howell Jr., the quick and shifty attacker, is back in on it for Southwestern, back behind the goal. And they'll reset for McDonald and slow things down.
Yeah, and this is where offensively, you're up by 2 goals. You're waning minutes of the fourth. You really want to utilize that shot clock. They got 60 seconds. They want to get all the way down to 20 seconds before they start dodging and trying to create, because worst case scenario, they take a bunch of time off the clock and give the ball back. Best case scenario, obviously, they take a bunch of time off the clock and get the goal. So you're going to see a little of that stall feature coming into factor.
This is how it's the most recent goal scorer. He's going to spin back towards the middle. He is watched by, that's number 4 of the Knights, Ben Sliga. And that one, it looked to go off the post.
He got it off his foot, it looked like to me, which I would say was maybe Jace's best save of the night. That low, powerful shot, couldn't get his stick there, just able to kick his foot out and really make a great-looking save.
Up top being marked by Slugo, or Mike Brown, rather. McDonald looking to switch with Houts. Still in control, being marked by Mike Brown. Almost goes over top of, I think that was Caldwell. He's going to cut back towards the middle. Cross pass, looking for the top of the net, and it's just over the crossbar, out of bounds. But still 32 seconds remain on that shot clock.
That's a shot they've seen success from. I think they've had 2 or 3 goals from that exact same spot, exact looking shot. So again, Jace really standing tall in this second half.
Straws are back towards the middle for Howe. It's backhanded and in there. What a shot.
Yeah, that is just good awareness by him as an attacker. So tough as a goaltender because it's an unconventional shot. You can't really see the release point. You're almost guessing in just pure reaction. And to his credit, he had great velocity on kind of that whip, kind of underhand whip shot from the backside. Good offense. That's just good offensive play by the Pirates.
As Jordan mentioned, able to waste quite a bit of time there and get the goal. They lead at 3, so a pretty big hole here for Southern Virginia, who have obviously struggled to score. Just 2 goals in the second half after a pretty hot start scoring-wise. This is JT Cotrier. There's a shot for Mike Brown just to the left of the post.
Yeah, I think he's going to want that one back. He kind of underhanded that shot, which is statistically one of the least accurate shots with a short stick or a long stick. Long stick accuracy goes down even more. You usually want that strong overhand shot with a long pull. Again, just gives you that more accuracy to go with the speed of that longer stick.
Here comes Porter Wells again. They're going to need some big offense here from their top guns offensively. On the attack, a good spin move back towards the middle, cross the crease, and that's going to go off the outside of the net. It looked to be in as he had a gaping net. Walsh was out of position. A great cross field pass, but Southwestern able to stave it off.
Yeah, just coming up a little shy of on the accuracy. It's so tough. You're catching and releasing what we call a quick stick so fast, it can be very, very difficult to get that as accurate as you would like.
McDonald trying to catch Lightfoot out of the goal, and Lightfoot tried to race back to the out of bounds to get there first. He didn't. He's going to have to race back in there. Strasser towards the goal is upended. And that's a good, clean play from Southern Virginia to stave it off.
That's about as refreshing as it gets for a goalie, is the guy who's been terrorizing the middle of the field all day finally gets a hit put on him, a legal hit, and deters that.
There's an outlet for Mike Brown. He's upended. Knight still in control. This is number 9, Richie Johnson.
Yeah, they're definitely letting them play a little bit more. You arguably could have thrown flags on either side of the field over the last 30 seconds, and they're just letting them play, which makes for more exciting lacrosse. That's kind of what you tend to prefer from reffing. You want the game decided on the field, not with whistles. So I think it's really good reffing and even reffing from the refs on the field so far.
Clay Hackey for Porter Wells. They're going to have to start going quickly. Still down by 3, 16-13 to score. They're going to reset for, that's Davis Grant, the junior from Salt Lake City. Around the ring they go, looking for some space. Walsh is covering the post. Spinning back towards the goal line. Now some open space for Grant. He scores!
That's just an absolute rip shot. As number 29, Davis Grant, again, Gabe King created that. He drew all the attention as the shooter that everyone's used. He's got a bunch of goals today. They threw the double team, and nobody picked up the backside, which is Grant in this case. Posts up and just an absolute bullet over the goalie's right shoulder and buries that in the net. Very much the shot of adrenaline that the Knights had to have. 4 minutes left, down by 2, time for a run.
Big draw here for Jaden Arnold. A penalty will be called, and it's going to go in favor of Southern Virginia. So good job there by Jaden Arnold to draw it on Pena, who Arnold certainly has had his number in this one, the senior.
So I'm a little surprised the Knights kind of look not urgent right now, and we're down under 4 minutes.
Here come the Knights again, back towards the middle, looking for Gabe King. He's going to lose it, though. So big turnover. Just as Jordan mentioned, we're down into crunch time now with that. Obviously, that 80-second shot clock's going to be a big factor here as the Knights trail by 2. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Loose ball, though. Southwestern takes it, and there's a check. Looking for a call of Southwestern, maybe a push with possession. And let's see what the call is here.
I think they're going to call a timeout. Oh, that's just great coaching. Recognizing that situation, he's unsettled. He's getting double, triple teamed. They're swallowing their whistles. So you probably could have called a loose ball push right there. The refs decided not to, and the coach recognizing his player in trouble, bailing him out. That's really good coaching, and very impressive all around by the Pirates here in this last 5-6 minutes. They've played the way that you want to close out a game.
And Bill Moman, you could see him screaming down there at the bench looking for that call and that push that they could have called on. I'm not sure which Knight defender was applying the pressure, but he was surrounded by 3 or 4 Knights, as Jordan was saying, as there was just 3 minutes and 13 seconds to go here in Buena Vista Knight Stadium.
So we're going to see what adjustments they make here down in the crunch time. Again, the Knights are now talking about pressure, right? You're probably, with how active he's been so far, you're going to see Jace come out and probably assist in playing defense. It's a risky strategy because you leave the net open, but the alternative, if they kill 60 seconds, you're down to 2 minutes to score 2 goals. So the Knights are going to start playing very intense, high pressure, throwing checks, and then expect to see the goaltender out trying to assist in that so they can create and try to make some magic happen and a comeback here in the last 3 minutes.
So Southwestern, again, looking to win their first one on the season, as well as Southern Virginia, barn burner here in Buena Vista. Southwestern, all the way from Texas, is looking for their first win on this big road trip, this southeastern swing. They'll be facing Bridgewater, I believe, on the 3rd. So again, 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go, 55 seconds left on that shot clock. Time is running out for Southern Virginia on this comeback, as Southwestern has also played very good defense in the second half. Only 3 goals for the Knights after an 11-goal outburst in that first half. This is Hudgens. Gonna sidestep Lyles, then fake a shot. Take some more time off of the shot clock. Still 30 seconds.
Say now you're under 30. Expect the offense to really kick into gear.
This is Hudgens spinning away from Lyles. Good defense facing him up. He's going to lose his stick, though, as it breaks. Tough break for Lyles.
Yeah, his stick just shattered. Again, risk of the sport. It definitely can happen. They're going to clear that out before they allow play. But you see the shooter there had multiple fake passes that finally created. The defense bit on it, all separated, and gave him that wide open look.
And the shot clock winding down. Hudgens is going to loft that one out of bounds. So they can retake possession, then waste a little bit more time before the Knights can grab it.
Very difficult for the Knights because that's a win for the offense. Even if they didn't get the goal, they burned a full 90 seconds off of a very, very short clock.
Now here comes Clay Hackey. Lots of open space in the middle of the turf. But he's come up from behind. Another steal. A caused turnover for Southwestern. A tough break as Clay Hackey had no clue that the defender was coming up behind him.
And Knights fortunately get a very quick turnover. Again, you saw at the end of the second quarter, the Knights had 10 seconds left and put a goal in 9 seconds. So in lacrosse, anything's possible, but time is running out. The Knights really need to start stepping on the gas and pushing.
All the way down looking for Mike Brown. He's going to get checked. He still has it, but then loses it. But his teammate Gabe King thankfully picks that one up for the Knights, as they're looking for Porter Wells to come in there, and Clay Hackey also.
Again, I recognize that the Knights really want to get their offensive personnel on the field, but they just burned 15 seconds.
King goes off the side of the net. His bench was jumping up and down, thought that went in for a second, but again, a minute 28 to go. So now they put themselves in a pretty difficult position, as they still need to score here on this possession, but then need one more. So they need a goal and a very important face-off win.
Yeah, I say the goal obviously is the first step. It's the most important right now. They have been so successful on the faceoff. I think they're about 70% on the day on the faceoff, that if they can just get to that point, it favors the Knights to gain possession and have a stab at tying this up.
There's a shot and a goal! Within one is Southern Virginia. A huge shot there on the far side, getting it right past Welsh. Top shelf there. It is 16-15, and as Jordan mentioned, a huge face-off coming up here for Jaden Arnold, as he has had some great success versus Pena. And now number 36 is going to go to the face-off for Southwestern. I believe that's Anthony Cadillo, the junior from Houston, Texas.
I believe it was Grant that scored that goal. It was tough to tell the numbers from this. It was either Grant or Porter Wells, but I'm pretty sure that was Grant on that.
It was Grant, his second consecutive goal for the night. Jaden Arnold, a huge win on the faceoff. Picks that one up for Southern Virginia, and Coach Jason Lamb is going to call a timeout and get things set up. Looking for the tie. Just 1:11 to go here in Knight Stadium.
Don't be surprised if the ball ends up in Gabe King's stick. Again, your guy that wills himself a goal is usually the one that you wanted in there, because two things happen. Not this last goal, but the previous goal by Grant. It was King that drew the double team and found the wide open player for a shot and goal. Or he's been able to create for himself, if they don't send that double team, been able to beat that one-on-one and score the goal. So again, King's kind of your creator in this case. Whether he's used as more of that decoy to draw the double or the scorer himself, I'd be very surprised if he's not involved.
Very even matchup up to this point. Again, only one goal separating these two teams with 1:11 to go. Jaden Arnold won that important face-off after, I believe it was Davis Grant, yes, has the last two goals for the Knights after Davis Grant tied it on a really sweet shot there on the far side from distance. Coach Jason Lamb called a timeout, and the Knights will have possession coming out of it. Obviously, full shot clock, plenty of time. Don't have to worry about that since that is greater than the game clock right now. As both teams getting set again. Got Porter Wells out there, Gabe King, of course, Clay Hackey, also Tyson Mowry, and Peyton Merwin in the middle there, as well as Zach Sullivan. Those are the goal getters on the evening for Southern Virginia. Gabe King again in his hands, in his stick, as Jordan mentioned. He's going to drive. He's going to shoot it. Good save, Walsh. Looking to grab possession is Southwestern. They will. And they're going to get out of harm's way, and they're going to cross center field. A big moment there for Southwestern. And Southern Virginia, Mike Brown just going to have to apply all the pressure he can to get that ball back.
So we have a timeout by the Pirates. They're going to discuss how do they burn the last 41 seconds of this game. So again, I'd be very surprised if we don't see the goaltender out and trying to assist in this. You'd conventionally want to say, oh, well, the net's open, we should just toss it in there. You would be surprised how often you can miss that layup, what feels like a layup, when you've got pressure on you and you're trying to throw it 15, 20 yards. If you're off even just by a bit, you turn the ball over, you give the other team a chance. So expect them to go into full stall mode. I'd be surprised, unless they get a really easy opportunity. They're just going to try to run and outrun the double team that likely will come from the Knights. And if they can find an open man, they'll go for it. But 41 seconds, the Knights are badly in need of a solid double team and knocking this ball away. They've had success with caused turnovers all day. They've never needed one more than right now.
16-15, just 41 seconds to go. Shot clock is at 63, but that won't matter, as Southern Virginia desperately needs to cause turnover, as Jordan mentioned. 9 caused turnovers on the day for Southern Virginia, so doing a lot better statistically in that category than they have in their 4 previous games. Both teams, again, looking for their first win on the season. Of course, this is a non-conference matchup. Southern Virginia competing in the USA South. Independent is Southwestern. Both teams will head out, and as Jordan mentioned, we'll see what they do with Jace Lightfoot, if he'll come out and look for those double teams, leaving that net vacant. But for now, it is Hudgens in control. You got Cade McDonald up there for Southwestern as well. And that is Lightfoot coming out. Taking a man, that's Strasser, right around the 40-yard line. And there's a cause turnover there. JT Cotrier picks it up right off the hop. He's going to sprint down into the zone. And he's being pressured by a couple of Pirates. Mike Brown, there's the penalty right there. He gets decked after play stopped, it looked like.
I say that's the kind of mistake that that the Pirates are just going to feel awful about afterwards. Coach Bowman is got to be furious throwing that check late. Obviously, we're hoping for the safety and the recovery here, that there's no actual injury here on the field, because Michael Brown took quite the shot there. But it puts the Knights in about as favorable a position you could have given the circumstances. What a quick double team, an effective double team. Good on-ball pressure immediately caused a turnover. And then Couture, who just puts on the Jets, gets up the field, finds an open man, really creates this opportunity for his team. And we're coming down. We got 23 seconds to go, it looks like. And let's see what the Knights can do. They've struggled in the man-up opportunity for most of the day, but if there is any time to be successful in it, it is right now. So let's see it.
So Will Walsh and the Pirates are going to have to stave off one more attack from Southern Virginia as the Knights look for the tie. 16-15 the score, just 23 seconds remaining after that great double and steal by JT Cotrier. Another cause turnover, make it 10 on the day for Southern Virginia. As again, Jason Lamb still huddled together with his guys here coming out of the timeout. See that typical group of Porter Wells, Zach Sullivan, Tyson Mowry, Davis Grant in there has the last two goals for Southern Virginia, then Clay Hackey and, of course, Gabe King. 23 seconds to go. Into the pocket it goes for Clay Hackey. Top of the ring, top of the order for Gabe King. He's going to go down and shoot it wide. It'll got a bounce, but still 18 seconds.
I say, Gabe King, that's the shot that he wants, but now you're down to 15 seconds. And finding Gabe up top.
Up top for Gabe King. Goes through, bounces off the turf, out of bounds. 8 seconds to go for Southern Virginia.
They scored a 9 from center field before. Oh, and a bad pass.
There's a tough pass. They're going to send it back towards the middle. And he scores! Back towards the middle for Clay Hackey. What a feed after a tough reception there from the goal line. And Southern Virginia is tied it with 3 seconds remaining.
That's just incredible. Again, these are the things you love about a sport like lacrosse that is so fast-paced. You're getting action at every second, every minute. 10 seconds, that's enough. 5 seconds, clearly, that's enough. And Clay Hackey, who has quite a few shots today, but has struggled to put it on goal, finds the net when his team needs him most. Phenomenal performance by Hackey here down in the final seconds. Good awareness. And we're going into overtime.
And correction, that was Zach Sullivan, rather, at least on the stat sheet. That's what they have. Zach Sullivan from Gabe King. So Zach putting in a good performance, ending right where he started.
Well, Zach Sullivan, like you mentioned, actually, just after, I think in the third quarter, he really explosive, very in the moment here in the first half, where he was scoring goals, he was assisting, he was catching, he was always part of something. And then the second half, we didn't see much from him. If he got that last goal, that he came alive again at the right moment. Again, you can't want more than this out of a sporting event. So excited to go into halftime, and we're thrilled to get this 2-minute break, and let's do it again.
But the Knights were, just having a really tough time getting to the middle, getting in front of Will Walsh, scoring goals in the second half, but explode for 3 goals in the past 3 or 4 minutes. As we'll head into overtime, the two captains out in midfield with the officials to get the overtime rundown. That's JT Cotrier. Can't quite get the number on the Southwestern captain. As Jordan, why don't you give us a summary on the overtime rules and regulations.
Yeah, so in lacrosse, it's a golden goal. So first to score is going to win. And I believe they give the same time as a quarter itself. But yeah, we're pure golden goal. So every possession matters, every shot matters, every angle matters, especially in a game like this where you give an inside man 1 foot of extra space, he's going to catch and score that goal. You give a dodger coming from the top of the lane too much room in his alley or dodging up the side of the field, and he's going to catch and score. The pressure is on. Everyone's feeling it. Golden goal is one of the most exciting ways you could decide a sporting event.
So Jaden Arnold came up clutch just a couple of minutes ago on that face-off win after the Knights came within 1. Let's see if he can do it again against Cadillo, senior on junior. For a golden goal, 4 minutes on the clock here in overtime in Buena Vista.
22 of 33. That's the stats on faceoffs. So this favors the Knights to come up with this.
And Jaden Arnold sweeps it along. He's going to grab possession for his guys. Southern Virginia in control. And a timeout taken by head coach Jason Lamb. Another smart timeout, as Jordan mentioned. This is golden goal. Next goal wins as Southern Virginia looks to inch closer to their first victory on the season.
Yeah, again, you have an extra timeout going in the overtime period. Very smart of Coach Lamb to use it now. His team has the momentum. You want your best play, your best attempt coming right now. You don't want to give the opportunity for the efficient offense of the Pirates to come down, set up their what they do best, keep it out of their stick as long as possible, and really capitalize on the momentum that the Knights have.
So we'll see what kind of setup they come out of this one. Just 10 seconds had ticked off the clock by the time head coach Jason Lamb had called the timeout after Jaden Arnold won another face-off. He has been money all night long.
And picking up that loose ball after Arnold kind of kicked the ball out from the face-off was, of course, Zach Sullivan. Again, making his presence known when it matters most to his team.
Pirates able to come out of the timeout now.
Another stat that is baffling considering the statistics coming into this game and shows to the effectiveness of the Knights' ride is that the Pirates are only 16 of 28 on the clears. So again, even if the Knights can't come up with a goal here, statistically they are favored to try to knock that ball down and come back up with it. So the Knights have the momentum. Where the game is now favors the way that they've been playing. So here we go.
Here comes Gabe King again. And Filcher's going to wave it down. And they've got to reset the shot clock to, I think, 74 we heard over the...
Yeah, they'd accidentally reset the shot clock on the timeout, but obviously it doesn't get reset, so they were just putting it back to its original number.
So 74 on the clock. But this is golden goal again. Next goal win. Gabe King going to put on a rush of his own. Going to fire it towards the goal and a save by Walsh. Southwestern's going to cover it up. And Knights will have to go back on defense. But as Jordan said, tough time clearing the zone. But they do this time. Good job by Southwestern as they go on the attack for their chance to win. And they're going to call a timeout.
Now, again, for the exact same reason, wisely, Coach Bowman takes a timeout, settle his team down, really explore what they do best in the efficient side of the offense, and come up with a play that they think is going to give them the edge here in the last bit. But, again, the momentum is with the Knights still. One reason the timeout, try to kill as much of that momentum as you can. But Knights had their look at the goal. Pirates get their chance now. And again, the pressure is on with this golden goal rule that we have here in overtime. Every possession feels so much more important than maybe it did during regulation. So exciting time to be here. The crowd here in the stands, even with the rain, again, we're up in the booth, which is fairly sound protected, and we can hear them shouting and cheering every possession, everything that goes right, goes wrong. It's nice to see a lively crowd, lively game. Again, nice time to be here at Knight Stadium.
So only 39 seconds have gone off the clock here. 2 timeouts called, one by either team. This last one by Bill Bowman as his team gained possession in cross center field. Able to clear it, one thing that they had struggled mightily with, but golden goal once again. Southwestern a chance to win it. This is Caldwell in control, being marked by a Knight defender. He's going to go back across the field, look for his own shot perhaps. He'll just go wide. Good defensive play there. They'll reset for O'Donnell. Now Houts with it. He's been dangerous. Body check. He's going to fall down. Good defense there. There's a shot towards the goal, and it's going to go just past the crossbar, it looked like, out of bounds. The clock will not reset, down to 45 seconds. This will play a factor eventually. Going towards the goal, bounces off the turf and wide. And that will be a turnover. There is a Knight down along the 25-yard line. They want a whistle to bring him off. Looks like it might be an injury timeout.
I said it looks like Brown again.
Could not see quite where any contact had happened. Hopefully it's nothing too bad as he went to the ground as the ball went out of bounds. So clearly it looks like it might be a cramp. He was selling out for his team, didn't want to give up on the play. So good effort there from Mike Brown, senior defender from Leesburg, Virginia. He's been a key part of this game, able to get plenty of clears for Southern Virginia and has a goal to his name as well.
Yeah, just looking over the replay, that was a non-contact injury. So he really just turned and then started favoring his knee as he went down. So, yeah, trainers out there checking him out and trying to get off. But the way he's shaking that leg, that does look like a cramp to me. I'm no expert, but he might have nailed that one.
Which is good to see. Of course, hopefully he'll be, if it's something like that, he'll be able to shake it off and walk it off. But he certainly will need to come out here. But nice to see him walking off under his own power. It looked like he tried to jog it off, but just shook his head and is walking there with, I think that's head athletic trainer Chad Mahaffey.
Yeah, looks like Chad, former coach for this team, been involved with the lacrosse program since 2005 in various different capacity. Always good when Chad's looking out for your team.
Knight's able to stave off that last possession. This is, I think that's number 14 for the Knights, Wyatt Garrett. He's going to come off quickly. Knight's able to get their heavy attackers on. Clay Hackey jogging in there. As Gabe King will take his time and think this over. 55 seconds on the shot clock. Already a minute and a half gone in the overtime period. 2.5 remain.
Yeah, definitely that clock is shorter than a typical quarter. Oh,
and King's going to lose it. Here comes Southwestern again. Numbers back for the Pirates. And I'm not sure if there's a timeout called or what it was. Maybe an injury perhaps. And Southwestern not happy about that stoppage in play.
Yeah, Gabe King went down and stayed down after that. And he's going to get checked out by Chad. Again, it looked like his knee where he's got that brace really tightened up on him. He immediately hit the turf after that. So we're hoping that he's okay. They'll need him if they regain possession here to have a chance at goal.
Yeah, it looked like it was because he lost his balance there that the ball came out. But again, good defense by both squads. This second half and overtime period has been all out defense after a pretty hot start on the attack for both sides.
I can understand why the Pirates might be a little upset. Typically, when the injury is that far away and you got a big momentum moment, they don't blow that whistle, but they chose to there.
Here comes Hudgens just to the left of the post, out of bounds. They want a reset of the shot clock, but they're not going to give it to him. 65 remains. So no quarter given there by J.T. Catrier. This is Caldwell.
Leading scorer for the team.
A float back up for O'Donnell. He looks left towards Hudgens, but keeps it himself. Now we'll go to Hudgens here on the near side, bottom of your screen. He's going to get past one and bounce it off the turf. And it looked as if Lightfoot was going to try and race after that one to grab possession for his team, but clearly wasn't going to get there in time, so he heads back to his goal. This is Houts. Looking for some room. Back towards the middle. Spins around. He's got Hudgens now. Across the field. There's space for Strasser. Good save by Lightfoot.
That was a phenomenal save. Down low.
And Mike Brown almost loses. Now he gets it back and scoops it across for JT Cotrier. Space there for Cotrier. He'll reset now for Mike Brown. They're going to get Porter Wells back in there and reset Gabe King back in there after losing his balance and looked to be a little bit hurt, but he's in there. Glad to see he was okay.
Yeah, again, what a momentum moment. I mean, that is a freshman meeting the moment in ways that you can only hope for as a coach.
And there's a shot off the post or the foot of Walsh, and it goes out of bounds. That'll be a reset of the shot clock. But just 42 seconds remain anyways. Both teams rushing to get their troops on the field. And here we go for Peyton Merwin. He started the scoring for the Knights. Gabe King wants some motion down there below. Looking for some space. Gabe King goes back towards the middle. Now he resets back in front of the crease. It's loose. Send it towards the goal. It's blocked by Walsh.
So Gabe King's going to want that one back. He had a great run. He drew the double. He had the man inside to feed and didn't quite see him. Fortunately, the Knights come up with the ball still.
10 seconds to go. I don't know if they realize it. Looking to get back towards the middle. Just 4 seconds. Looking for room. He's checked down. That's going to do it. A flag, though, is given.
Yeah, they're going to call a push with possession. I'm surprised they threw a flag only because he kind of lost his balance before the contact, but the refs decided to throw that anyway. So we'll go into a second overtime period, and I believe the Knights will start man up.
And I'm not sure if going into another period, do they reset the shot clock or I'm not sure if it reset before one of those most recent shots, but the Knights will be a man up.
Yeah, I don't think they will reset the shot clock, but it did reset, I think, on when Gabe King went in and took a shot. I think they're saying that came off the goalie. And so they still have a good probably 70 seconds or so.
So plenty of time on the shot clock. Again, golden goal here. Both teams have had a couple of opportunities, have not been able to convert. And before we get to the second period of overtime, again, we want to shout out our athletic sponsors for Southern Virginia University Athletics, that being Cornerstone Bank, Straws, Drinks, and Eat, River Crossing Apartments, Vinyl Cuts, Grace Automotive, The Beeve, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Papa John's, and Katana Hibachi and Sushi Express. So we'll have another 4-minute period of overtime. 16. The score is 16-16. We've been knotted up ever since Zach Sullivan struck with 3 seconds to go in regulation to tie it up. One of his 4 goals, I believe, on the evening.
So I will say, re-looking through the replay of that hit there at the end, again, it could go either way, but I do understand why they decided to throw that flag. He was a little off balance, but it was the contact directly from behind him that really sent him forward, and that's what the ref saw. It wasn't the contact from the man coming in from the side. So again, this late in overtime, I could see them letting that play, but I think by the rule book, that does deserve a yellow, and they decided to throw it.
So considering maybe how loose they've called in later stages, a fortuitous call, but nonetheless a reasonable call that puts Southern Virginia on the advantage here, as that's number 25 of Southwestern, Patrick Vitanovich. He'll be sitting out for just a little bit. So I think we need to get the shot clock put back to 60, and it will be. Knights looking for that golden goal. Porter Wells for Clay Hackey around the ring. They go back up top. Now Gabe King. This is Wells. Fakes. He'll pull up and send it down deep. Back for Wells. Into the middle. There is Hackey. Nice save by Walsh. He's able to gain control for Southwestern. They need to clear, and they won't. It's going to go out of bounds. A check to prevent that clearance from Southwestern. Great job. I believe that was either Peyton Merwin or Gabe King.
Gabe King, that's a heads-up, experienced senior player. Instead of fighting for that ground ball, trying to save it, he just blocks the other team because he knows they touched it last and lets them run out.
Gabe King scores! Gabe King lets it fly in Southern Virginia with that golden goal.
Pure euphoria here on the field. Again, that strong overhand that has been so successful for Gabe King. I think if Coach Lamb could see that, not knowing it would be a goal, would say, oh, hold off, let's get a better shot. But really, just the scorer's mentality of Gabe King completes it, gets the comeback for the Knights, who come on top 17-16 here at Knight Stadium.
I believe that comes with the man up for Southern Virginia. They grabbed their first win on the season, defeating a quality opponent in Southwestern 17-16, a quality comeback as well, as they trailed 16-13 in the later stages of the fourth quarter. But a furious offensive spurt led by, I believe that was Davis Grant with 2 goals late in the fourth, and Zach Sullivan's tying goal. Then finally Gabe King able to finish it off with his 18th goal on the season.
Yeah, and he put it exactly where you would want to. That angle, that shot, he put it off stick, so he's right-handed, so he put it on his left hip, which is a very difficult save for a goalie, especially with the defenders there, a little bit of a screen, just a scorer's mentality, a scorer's shot. Props to the Knights on coming out on top in this contest. Competitive, lively, vibrant game. This is exactly what you hope for, and this is why we love lacrosse season.
So with that, Southern Virginia will improve to 1-4 on the season. Southwestern falls to 0-3 before they head over to Bridgewater in a couple days for their second game of this Southeastern swing. Next up for the Knights, they'll head to Grove City, Pennsylvania on March 9th to face off against Grove City College before returning to Buena Vista at Knight Stadium on the 13th of this month against Messiah University. They'll then start their conference play against Piedmont on March 16th. But we thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Knights Broadcasting. Be sure to subscribe, like, leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing, how we can improve. And Quinn Meyer along with Jordan Sorensen, we thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time.